up? What is up? What is up? What is up, chat? कैसे है तुम लोग? कैसी? कैसी है तुम लोग? Haters, चल फुट. दो. मेरा जोक नहीं समझा? कैसी है तुम लोग? कैसी? हेटर्स चल फुट. वेल अच्छा था. कैसी वर्सेस फुट नहीं. It was a good one. It was a good one. क्या सीन? ईशान भाई, thank you for the 52 months. मेरी जान के उठे, love you. ऊपर वाले का कहल करो थोड़ा language.
Is it an implementation thing, do you think? Or do you think it's just like comfortability, like in terms of the game plan?
Yeah, I think we also have deciding to pick second, so then they were able to ban out Abyss, which, you know what, Mini, after what we've seen last week, I think that is
it's very funny that FUT picked Abyss
such a
2
great
weeks in a
streamer
row
cause
and now
comedy
they're
tennis
banning it, which is a bit of a bad sign for that map pool, but I think it's absolutely the right decision. I think Casey would have picked Abyss and Casey would have
Who is about bike?
So
yeah, because it was
it looks a
13.
bit silly, but I think it's a good choice.
Absolutely, and then I want to go over Haven, that being the first one as well. I mean, KC picked it against Na'Vi.
It didn't look great, but the bar was pretty low. Like the Phoenix pick, I didn't see it in action in that game. The game plan looked a bit slow and a bit strange to me. So looking better this week.
Yeah, I mean the players are looking pretty comfy in those Razor chairs and they're ready to go. But Pearl being at the side of Cairo.
Yeah, I mean it's a map that we've seen FUT actually innovate on, right? When we look all the way back to when the tail metal was here with the Astra. So I don't actually hate the fact that it's been brought through.
The other weird thing is KC banned it the last 2 weeks, so then now it's now part of
Volume low karo.
They left it to a third map, which is like usually if you leave it open, you'll then ban.
When the one match was second match, thoda sa casual hai.
Their map pool that strong is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, it's bringing questions in regards of whether or not they have something cooked up for that map specifically. But in general, I feel like when we're looking at KC, we saw some of those funny picks that were a little bit different, I guess. So
Pearl is a map you can play Phoenix on, and they love Phoenix, so maybe it's just Phoenix.
Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But Haven then is what I would like to dissect a little bit further, because when we're looking at FUT specifically, we haven't actually seen them on Haven just yet in this kickoff. So what are we expecting from them?
I don't know. I would really love for them just to go simple, right? Just go the simple Haven comp, Jet breaks over, like Omen KG, and kind of go down that route. I know that we can see Zeus go like the Neon. That's obviously been a big strength.
Valorant.
To challenge KC and the wacky stuff that they do, I think if FUT just keep it simple, Turkish Valorant like they know they can, like that would be great.
Comment का चला sexy बे सब मेरे को अर्जुन कपूर बुला रहे. Love you यार chat. I hope कोई Bollywood वाला देखे मुझे.
Nothing too crazy, but FUT then is what I would like you to highlight here, Mini, because we're seeing the Fade, we're seeing the Waylay.
The team support कर रहे.
I disagree about the Breach. I think Breach is so weak in this meta that I think we're past that on Haven.
KC है heavy वाला heavy.
The Waylay here is strange. Usually this is a Neon or a Yoru. So I'm very interested to see how this composition with the Viper Killjoy works with the Waylay specifically. Waylay is a very all-in kind of agent, and she doesn't have that much support in this composition. So to me, is Zeus going to be able to find his value, especially on that attack side, by going in without the support?
Just saying, meet आपको प्रभास का compare कर रहा था, सच्ची?
Play them up. The fact that we've seen the Phoenix being brought out again, we saw in the coach confessions the last time that this was played that Carmine Core would try and play Haven differently, and to be honest, it was still weak when we saw it. So I'm really hoping that again there's been more work done on this.
Video में आपसे ज़्यादा बढ़िया acting monitor ने किया, language.
I don't think they got to play that much defense last time. I think for me on their comp, it's just all about the orbs. Farming Phoenix that orb, and can FUT deny that?
And what about Levin specifically on that Yuri, because again, we kind of highlighted a little bit already when it comes to being a pillar of aggression and just a pillar of
Binks, you looking like Prabhat from Salar. Please check. Love you, yaar. मैं Salar देखा है movie. Love you, yaar. मेरी जान करते मीत भाई.
On his VLR page, he put by ACS. His jet is far.
मैंने NDA sign किया, वरना मैं बोलता था.
And I think just simplifying it for him would be better. So I think this is a big game to see. Can Levin do these things that KC wants to?
Well, we'll figure that out as we're ready to
big
head
day
into
for
our
EMEA.
first
Big day.
map
क्यों
of
big
today.
day भाई?
Haven coming up
आज कौन
next,
सा big day?
but
पागल
are you
हो
guys
गए?
excited about this one, Mitch and Tom?
ये कौन सा big day भाई?
Well, very excited to see the proving ground for Levin down on that stage, but on the other side for FUT, coming in with those two rookies, we talked about identity issues. It's sort of been the theme of Kickoff for them, and it looks like they haven't gone anywhere, Tom, and a new face down on that stage.
Yeah, I'm nervous for this game because
I
like the middle ground of flashes. And on one side, we have a team that, correct me if I'm wrong, has one flash. Paranoia, which I barely call a flash. It's a near sight at best.
Big day come I think
loads of flashes. They also have the near sight, but they also have Yoru flashes and Phoenix flashes. So
5 तारीख को है big day. 5 तारीख को big day है. 6 तारीख को big day है. 6 तारीख को.
Let's see who ends up prevailing coming into this, Tom.
Basically, आज के बाद सारे big day है भाई.
Hello? For a lot of people will have them thinking, well, that's FUT heated up.
कुछ साल में शक्ल बन जाओगे मैप language.
I think a lot of people looked at that as Fnatic underperforming, and we still haven't seen FUT hit their stride. No better time than up against KC, who also have had those stumbles recently.
Yeah, I really want to see what FUT have got on this attack side, because I feel like you're going to have to run very slow, and your executions are going to have to be very direct, because you don't have a lot of utility that's going to come back
G
to
playing
help you
next
later
match.
on. Like, when you're out
जब भी वो लोग
Prowlers,
PC में बैठेंगे यार,
there's nothing more that you can do. So
वो लोग बैठेंगे LAN पे बैठेंगे, सेटअप करेंगे, आईडी पासवर्ड डालेंगे,
is quite scary because they can just burst out your utility on the attack. You get to set the pace a bit.
फिर मेंबर्स ओनली करोगे क्या रेस रात को मेंबर्स
A lot
ओनली?
of players spotted here. Sugetsu decides to stick around.
यार मेरे को
Hold his
वेले
ground with
सीखना
still
है.
a trap on the site, but steps back in the other direction. Baha has
वो लोग को
claimed
मालूम
a
है.
small amount of space, but really he needs that fight if they're going to
Chat
go to that
किसी
B
को मालूम है,
site. There's
कुछ
the
तो
player
गड़बड़ है.
spotted, but the shots don't land. Info for Shados, that gets a flash
Oh
out of
my
Abbas, but he's
God,
caught
these
in the
बंदे blind
crossfire.
पे.
A lot of damage done, and it will be clean.
भाई क्लासिक से मारा डॉस नाइन ने.
Alive in a 1v4 this round.
नहीं करता,
Very
नहीं मारा था.
quickly seems to have been decided.
Yeah, nowhere else for Yedaje to go, and it's
W
Shados
बोलते.
with the triple. To start things off, I thought it would be the Dosia being the hero of the round, but the IGL stepping up to the plate. And I think that's another sort of interesting talking point.
Like crazy mara bhai DOS
is you go back to their previous match, and I thought Dosia had a pretty good game. I think Sugetsu playing
Clean, bae,
crazy
clean.
conscious, he had a pretty good game. It was kind of
Clean.
and in their first match, I was looking at Aves. They're having some insane performances. I'm looking at
Yep,
Levin, I'm
yep,
looking
apna hi wala
at
DOS
Shados.
9
He's got the IGL like excuse. Levin, I need to see big things.
योर भी चाहिए वेले के साथ हाँ.
Even with the excuses
वेले
for
योर
Shados, he hasn't
अच्छा
needed
एक्सेल में अच्छा
them
काम
in some of the matchups. I think his teammates needing them a bit more than himself at times. And I do agree. There was a narrative that Mini gave us on that desk that this is a proving ground for whether Levin can do the things that KC want him to. I'm sure we'll talk about later those different roles. For now, Paranoia,
the blue
that's
blind.
going to catch all 5 if it was sent through, but
But
those
usko
pistols
kaise
will be
aaya
very close.
smell?
Doja stays inside that smoke, but they invade. And an easy trade to start this out. Sugetsu making a meal out of it. And even trades, this is not good enough for the defense.
चलेगा एक ही करना है, एक ही करना
Well,
है.
there's currently one rifle in
एक ही
play,
करना है.
and it's on the attack side. They have managed to retrieve it. What is left on the other side is not great. A
अरे
Marshall will be
बाप
decent in
रे.
these moments. A Judge needs to get a little bit closer. And the Spectre's fine, but you need to get into position. Good work from Aves at least to clear one up. It does mean like they have a
I
lot
think we
less
play
to lose
Phoenix.
in these moments, and hey,
Hello?
they make it look easy in the end. An
Boy,
upgrade
Phoenix
for the
अच्छा है.
rifle. Only other than that was a pistol, and of course the Marshall that's lost. It could have been a lot worse.
It definitely could have. You
पूरा
saw a couple
side
of
काट के
headshots
क्या
landed
मारा
there with
भाई?
classics and completely different reality. if they find another pick or two for KC. They stabilized after, I have to say, a bit of a bumpy start, Tom. Playing with a Phantom inside a
we
smoke.
We didn't need to slaughter that.
When you know there's players there,
यार खत्म कब होगा ये watch
lots of
party?
pistols. It's a big risk. It's kind of a crazy risk and not one I want to see taken again. Luckily, as we said, that recovered rifle did end up stealing the round out from under KC's feet. And so a 2-0 start. And FUT pulling out the rifles here, though.
Yeah, this is where we kind of expect
पूरा crossfire को मार दी.
A break back, but the operator on the other side for Levin, having that early investment into him. Now, one of the criticisms I had
क्या लगता है लून मारेगा कि नहीं?
He would go for these fights but not escape before the TP. This time he lands the shot straight out of there, no risk.
One of the best duelists. Overstaying his welcome definitely was a facet of we saw last time. Bahas going walkabouts here. Breaking the trap at least, but doesn't overextend. Doesn't give away the pick. They've seen that second trap as well, waiting on middle, so utility can be removed. We're still at the middle point as well. There's quite a bit for FUT to work with here. It looks like the idea will be to move towards this A site, at least for now, leaving Yedije behind to try to cause some serious havoc later on. And he's going to leave that trip up for a while, just so they're not worried about it. And when he breaks it, he needs to pounce almost immediately.
Yeah. The tough thing here is that
वापस full retake है.
They're probably going to be a little bit worried that they don't have Zeus anymore. Because it was
लेकिन
mentioned on the
ये है
desk,
कि
like,
blind
you
से
don't
हो
really
गए
have a
बस.
lot
Heavy वाला.
to follow him up. But if you don't have him at all,
30 seconds left.
मारा तो crazy खेल रहा है.
then
मारा
getting in can be awkward. But they have just walked it up. Retake will be in play. And again, there's a couple of very close range weapons that they're going to have to put into position. But with the flashes that they have, it shouldn't be too difficult to get in.
The decision to play super slow here from FUT makes sense. If they telegraph it too much, that AWP will be waiting. Now, the AWP has to be used on the retake. It's already been given to Shados. Levin looking to, well, I say lead the charge, but Shados has already taken away some of the remaining players from FUT. A very nice shot on the AWP, and although the Nano will delay, that flash and paranoia lands perfectly. Baha only good for one, and Yedije, the spray down of dreams needed with Levin on a 3K. He certainly did well after swapping over that AWP. KC, they're going to steam into the lead with 4 players alive as well. That's a big moneymaker round.
Yeah, it's about as bad of a start as you could hope for. In both rounds, having at least seemingly a little bit of an opportunity. The last one especially, but this one, losing 2 picks to the operator. The second one seeming just like a silly mistake, if anything. And then, well, the fact that Levin's able to clean things up with the Spectre, it's not a fantastic side.
Clean blinds. Clean blinds.
3-0. They said it in the interview earlier. It felt like they were doing well in their scrims and just had to try and translate that. And for FUT, well, they're no stranger to getting banged out in a first map, but I don't think after now banning their previous 2-time choice, they would have hoped that this map maybe goes a little better.
Well, yeah, I mean, an astute observation from you there, Tom. A 3-0 start, probably not in the game plan for FUT. I wonder if a 4-0 is, because I'm pretty sure we're about to hit that. And again, last time we saw this round 2 from KC, they were up against pistols. They made some risky moves. They spammed through the smoke, not quite as risky. It's already found one for KC, and they can play this so passive and so patiently. The only kind of concern here is just look at Sugetsu. The guy is completely by himself. And sure, he's got the cam, he's seen 2 now, backup is coming, but how do you get out of that corner? You gotta stand and fight, and that's at least a trade. A good start for FUT that turns into potentially a great round. Those rifles are recoverable too, Tom.
Yeah, Zeus and Yedije. Definitely the 2 you talk about in terms of that star power for this roster.
That's crazy, man.
Been able to make this one look interesting. Zeus also looking to get re-aggressed.
Oh my god, ये round कैसे जीते?
Little distraction to make it a bit easier for his star duelist, and just as we were starting to get worried for the side of FUT, they spring back with a huge thrifty round.
And again, it's a mistake, Tom. I mean, that certainly wasn't, but his position from Sugetsu, they had lost Garage 30 seconds ago. They'd given it up completely. I mean, at that point, I get the camera's great for the information, sure, but what are you gonna do from that corner? It's a buy round, fair enough, but here, you know they're gonna lay down together. They're gonna look for trades. Those trades were offered up on a silver platter. FUT, they took the round, but to what extent were they giving it? 2 mistakes against low buys. KC, though, still able to invest. maybe this can end up being a benefit with the economic reset.
Nice.
I don't know what Baha was thinking there, but I don't think we'll see that one tried again. Oh, good.
W, chalega.
Oh yeah,
Long wala bhi
20
mara.
seconds into the round, and we've already lost half of the FUT members just to fight on fight. Yeah,
मेरे को नहीं लगता उसका टिपी का बारे में मालूम है.
would need to be a hero in this round.
W.
Spike down. C.
He's also going to lose an individual fight up against Avis for Cristalli. There really isn't a whole lot he can do from this scenario. Spike down.
किसके साइड पे obviously केसी भाई. केसी अच्छा टीम है.
In a 1 versus 4.
Problem है कि लोग lower bracket में. आज हारा तो
exciting end to the round, but I think saving the gun might be the right play.
Yeah, I think it's about the most impact that you could expect to have at this point. They couldn't even cross to get the spike back. You know, the attempted haunt to push Levin off the angle, but it bounced back and ended up in the garage. So it just really feels like FUT tripping over themselves in some of those fights. You have to wonder, your Killjoy's going down, taking space, but that walk through the wall, I think Aves saw that the barrel of the rifle for a good second before the wall came down. Then you go to garage as well. The blind playthrough, as I said, I think they're honestly lucky to only lose the one on that up against the judge. They thought they'd done enough with the Prowler pushing the player back, but didn't clear that close corner. Mistakes here for FUT. And I honestly, at this point, especially with the 4-1, like that's a pretty harsh reset to get hit with early on. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pause coming out just to really steady the ship.
Yeah, I think as well, like, sure, going into split, they definitely had a better performance.
I mean, brother, you're not winning that fight. I don't think you're winning that in ranked.
But they don't want to let this one get too far out of control early on.
Andy, you're so cruel. I love you, man.
Maybe he's looking for the guy in the smoke that happened to be his teammate.
Could be, yeah. Is somebody there with you? I got you. Yeah, that's a good teammate there.
Well, 4-1. Investment is back in. Convergence path available, and Levin, he's just going walkabouts. Already an aggressive push coming through from him and a teammate, and even more aggression coming out from Dosia. Looking to get right up in their face. Of course, we saw Aves go down, but that was only the run it back. It's already a 2-man advantage. Well, he's wary of every angle, but Dosia's just taking the jiggle pick to get info.
That's a really nice bait setup as well. Usually when that Phoenix runs it, you don't expect that second player to be hiding around the corner, and your own Viper wall on that attack ends up adding to the confusion, just giving that little bit of extra space and fog of war for Doja to play around. That timing awful for Levin. It is still being watched though from further back. A second player alongside Shados will be popping that smoke up, and wow, again, I mean, feels like the smokes are his enemy. He's been wrecked by a one-way that, I mean, he did see coming.
Yeah, I think just trying to catch the timing, but it's definitely not worked out. And it does feel like a lot of domino effects for FUT in these rounds, where it's like you've lost the opener and the fight back in is reckless.
Mumbai is hot, but not hotter than you.
Love you, yaar, मेरी जान को. Easier for the side of KC. 25 seconds. Cristalli. Onto the
shot
first
था.
A little bit
इसका भी shot
it's only going to be the 140. Dosia with 3 in the round. KC's lead extending.
Dosia भाई मार रहे.
They're even going to retrieve themselves the operator.
Nice shot. But this is it, right? You take down that initial ult that came out from Aves. You try to hunt him down, thinking he must be in the corner, must be close. We can put the pressure on now. And Doja's waiting there.
This is
it for KC. I feel like everything that they've set up here, they've given opportunities away with the rifles. It feels like they are calling a better game right now, and a big part of that, Shados taking up that IGL mantle, but he's a man that has been to the top of the top a long time ago. Working his way back there as a leader now.
Yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago. 2021. 5 years ago now.
बन के legs भी नहीं हुआ. हो जाएगा भाई, सब्र रखो
in those international tournaments, but you look over at the FUT side and it's a different story, but one of more regularly making it to those international events, more regularly, and more recently. And it's whether or not they're going to sort of miss out once again. The 2025 definitely wasn't the year for them. They made those changes. They looked to rebuild this roster with rookies. And as of right now, it seems like the pieces are not clicking. Like, we need to see more. Zeus, he's had his moments, no doubt. Yedeje, I still have faith. But it's whether or not we can start to see what FUT
कोई तो दिन है ऐसा जिस दिन एक बेस्ट ऑफ 5 है और एक बेस्ट ऑफ 3 है और तीनों रीजन का है.
Really, when you look at Crystalli, they're not scratching that ADA captain, that cracks itch that I have for this squad.
Well, they're not playing KO, so you know.
That's also an issue, I suppose. Yeah, we'll have to fix the comps too. I think that was more to do with cracks. His ability to flex. But
I would go with the latter.
I mean, he had the ability to flex, just not very well. It was better to have him on KO because he was reliable for FUT. New compositions, new looks, but the identity crisis hasn't been solved just yet. A 5-1 scoreline after a timeout, though. They've gotten themselves onto the B site, even with those weaker weapons, and it is against the weaker weapons that Casey have been making most of the mistakes.
Oh, yeah, the thing is, Nightfall was used seemingly to take extra little bits of space. Like, FUT might not have invested much in terms of weaponry into this round, but they are investing into the ults, and they are not hitting. They haven't managed to connect them, and then Levin's just gone in with his own ult and taken 2 down with a shorty. This was meant to be a fix for FUT. Instead, it's looked like more problems, but they managed to bring it back to a 2 versus 3. The ults are gone, though. Everything that they invested into this one is gone, and actually, if Baha had the plant there, that would have been his ultimate line. Instead, they've got a different way. And that different way leaves Yettage 37 health, and yeah, he's going to get wrecked by Levin as well. 4 kills for Levin in the round, but it does feel like the 2 ults that were thrown in by FUT just, wow, they were thrown into the abyss. They're not even playing that map.
Very much so. Like the fact of the convergence path going through, they're not holding the space. They're pushing those players out into the convergence path, so they can simply step out of it. And oh look, there's the guy who just activated the ult. I can just kill him. No one's holding that space. And we're using our counter exec. We're trying to fight them while the Yoru ult is just about to run out. So Levin has a chance to just strike from back there a second or 2 later, and I get it because you think the Yoru ult's about to run out, therefore they're about to come in, therefore we're about to hit them with the ult. And that's a great idea. If we hit the ult where they would be coming in, but they were already past it. I mean, this is a timing issue, it's a synergy issue, and coming out of a timeout, that's not the round I want to see my team playing. Big mistakes for FUT, man. And we're 8 rounds in, KC not breaking a sweat.
No, this has been comfortable, but maybe not in necessarily the way we expected. I came into today thinking, okay, one of these teams needs to dominate. If we're going to see them make a run through the lower bracket, KC are dominating.
क्या कर सकते हैं बे? B तो होने से रहा
Most Prowlers is gone. Zeus is looking to try and take the space. Solid utility revealed at the back of the site, but unable to capitalize on it just yet. Holding in a crossfire, lockdown put into play. It was built up in the previous round. Flash through is nice though, and again they're looking to deny that plant, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just got to now get out of there before they're caught by the ult, and they will.
Oh, he didn't cancel. Good thing. Mr.
इसका
Fallen was
प्यारा blind जब है उसका.
Still is, catches one, TP over. I like this great reposition. He might just have floated the radar. That's another for Mr. Fallen. The snake by finding time and Shadows with no chance. Finally, back on the board, and it's Mr. Fallen to lead by example. A second round for FUT at last.
Amar bhai, thank you so much for the membership.
The TP ruse.
Full domination has seemed like they love this map.
Caught one completely off guard, and then
ये round भी जीत सकते थे.
I was worried for them, especially with this sort of like retake coming in. It was really nice from KC, but they just lost that one man, and that one man managed to dance his way around the site and clear out the entirety of the KC roster.
Yeah, it was definitely scary at the start. I think the second you see the flash come out for Abez and a player on the other side waiting in the smoke, you know it's done. This is going to be an early fight towards KC walking through the smoke to take the challenge. Zeus and Crystalli cleaning up. And for KC, well, this round's already done, essentially. Even Doja's been spotted at the one hope. Nice shot. He's revealed and dealt with just like that. Good utility, great round for Crystalli. Yeah, he has no choice. Honestly, they probably would have saved.
Technically,
in the 2v4,
अगर देखा जाए,
so
technically, ये लोग अभी भी 6-6-7-5 कर सकते हैं.
Is this for exits? Is this to make it costly or? Maybe. Yeah, surely. Just containing.
Membership
He was only a couple of players surviving in the last round, so if he can catch them as they escape, but I would be very surprised if FUT aren't going to go in the other direction.
10th Valo Camino.
It's just patience. The opponents tried to make the same play through the smoke they had done in the past. I don't think he flashed out that smoke, though, did he? He just stepped. Or am I mistaken?
Yes. Sorry, I was thinking the round before on B. Yeah, on A long here. Yeah. I think he did just walk. Maybe there was utility from further back, but to my eye, it did look like a bit of a contact with a 3-man push-up.
You can see. Yeah.
Audacious to say the least.
And that seems like the whole plan. It was just let's see if we can walk out of the smoke and not die. I guess it was the surprise factor. And yeah, FUT were not surprised.
Well, the energy's certainly good on the other side of the stage there. Feeling confident perhaps as they've started to put those rounds together. And they're also straining the economy of KC towards the end of the game. We could get an eco out of them in the next to allow for that final round bye.
Integration का X बताओ. जब भी girlfriend छोड़ के जाती है, तुम्हारा life में integration of X होता
to stabilize. They've gotten back into the game. Maybe not plenty of time, but they've gotten back just in time.
I still miss you though.
Again, we've already seen them in the first map of
integration of X.
The last series get absolutely battered and then play probably about, what, 50, 60 rounds from then onwards.
Yeah, that was the tied record, I believe, for VCT longest games. So someone told me.
Hey, आवाज आया उनको.
We'll get someone to fact check that.
Yeah. I don't remember. All I remember is we've had a lot of rounds before. My goodness.
But yeah, they've showed they can bounce back.
What is differentiation तेरा और मेरे game के बीच में जो है?
Just gonna go out for information.
दो long वो लोग को पता ही आने वाला है.
Does spot. It does leave his teammate a little bit out and dry. Again, we've seen this quite a lot from Zeus, where he's managed to stun one of the bombs. TP into the corner. Is it going to be checked? Dosi has done well. Managed to escape and slow them down quite a bit. I think that's a team flash.
It got him out. Hey, it got him out. It's all it had to do. Unfortunately, Doja still falls. The shot from Abbas. Perhaps clean enough to get them the round with the TP from Mr. Fallen. Over to the C site, they'll find him very quickly, but nothing they can do about that plant. They see him go towards long as well, but he's faked that time.
Joke's over,
he's walked towards long to let that extra pulse of Cypher's ultimate reveal him, and then tucked away in the corner the one way as well. This is, oh, it was beautiful. It really was, but now they know.
Made sound. Maybe trying to bait him with the TP, see if he can get himself an individual fight, and he can! In fact, Abbas was trying to jump, and instead he's the one to get caught in the end. It's a Red Bull clutch from Mr. Fallen. That's 2 rounds you can put down to him completely.
बोल के करना रहता है
Crazy rounds out of him. Was it 4K and then this one here?
Language, Stifler, language.
Looked like they were in trouble. Abbas lighting up those players as they came through the choke point. But he got lost in the sauce there, man. It looked like both players calling that they'll bait for the other.
17, I think 90.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be
90 या 95 के आसपास मेरे को आता था मैथ्स में.
You know, the timing a little off.
बिना पढ़े.
The comms maybe a little off too.
Honestly, I just hope the Minis game the Telestra after this one. I think he's going to have so many rounds to
hyper 10 button cheetah, sub.
That jump around from Abbas.
Is he keeping up the positivity from last week? I know he was trying really hard to be positive last week.
I don't think he can get more than a week out of that. I'm surprised if he made it to the end of the week. 6-4. KC came in leading with a commanding lead. In fact, in almost every round, it looked like FUT. They couldn't answer up. They couldn't find anything. And now there are weaknesses in play for KC. Let's not mince words there. The momentum is back in play for the side of FUT. They've bounced back. Individuals looking better. Cristalli's starting to have a lot of rounds where he's heated up. Just as we criticized Mr. Fallen too. 8 and 7, but 2 massive rounds that really have turned the tide. The timing here, though. If he goes up through long, I think he might be dead to Aves. Aves crept into this corner with...
Hello?
Oh, okay.
30 seconds left.
The timing gifted from the gods doesn't get him anything, so now a 2v4 retake and FUT.
Hello, मेरा chat stuck हो गया, मेरे को कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है.
Bulldog and a Marshall, so it should be a very easy one.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where obviously you don't want to give too much over in terms of orbs, but your opponents aren't particularly close. you've got nothing to lose in terms of weaponry.
Unstuck one,
Might as well
unstuck
give this one a
one.
go. Might as well try and see if you can find a gun for yourself, or
Yeah. तुम लोग के लिए भी
remove
हुआ
some
था
of
क्या?
theirs. Ultimately, it's not going to affect too much unless you can actually steal the round away. And Yetage just playing very patient. Even takes down Shados, leaves it all on to just Sugetsu, and he's just decided he's going to be the the other three hiding back towards long, playing for the post. That's now going to be 6-5 from a 6-1 damning scoreline. I'll be honest, I was already looking at the next map. We might end this half 6-6.
I mean, again, the reality of how we got here being that KC on the two anti-ecos looked kind of shaky. They made mistakes.
Hey, कौन सा वाला Phantom है रे ये? U2J वाला?
Consistently, but the fact that we end up here.
ये कौन सा वाला Phantom है U2J वाला?
Every round, KC looked dominant. They were shutting them down. We had moments where, sure, there were mistakes on foot, but it just seemed like the mice weren't plugged in.
Placing swarm grenade.
Somehow we could be neck and neck leaving this half, but money was saved over by KC. It's being blocked off. Sugetsu traded in that initial fight, but Levin is going walkabouts. He's got a gate crash. He can get out of here. So he stands his ground, looking to take one shot, one player down, and leave this site with an advantage. The ult sees 3 and now 4. They know the hit's coming in on C.
That counter ult used just to try and slow anybody towards the spawn. He's managed to get behind them, but is obviously smoked off for now. Aves already taken space and somehow manages to just take everyone down. Has a little bit of help, and he's even going to pop his ult just to flex at the end. But after a 6-1 start, KC are released.
और किसका बंडल लूं बंगा PRX और
energy convergence path. It didn't just speed boost Aves. Did it? My guy looked like it. He ran in
उसमें champs और masters लिखा हुआ है.
swinging wide, looking phenomenal. What a half by KC, but 7-5 in the end. A close one. Let's hear a little bit from Levin, who's been a big part of this first half for KC.
भाई एक बार इसको देख लो भाई. Please, 1 like is equal to 1 prayer. चलो बताओ 10th वालों. Full stop डाला है. Why Huaman heart has 4 chambers? Huaman. लोगों को बोल रहे पढ़ाई कर करके. Come on. हाँ? Come on man. रुचिर भाई मेरे पैसे दे.
One word, it could be confidence, because when I see Dima is playing clutch, or I don't know, 1v3 situation, 2v3 situation, when I watching him, he's always giving me confidence.
अरे भाई तुम मेरे कमेंट क्यों
My
पढ़ते हो?
goal
मैं
for this
सब
year,
पढ़ रहा
last
हूँ.
year was going very good for me. It was my rookie year, but some bad things
Poll
happened.
डालो
and
10th,
we
12th
lost
और
a little
college
way.
वाले.
So this
Hello,
year I am
mature
hungry
audience है
than
मेरे mature.
usual, because I mean, how you say, I couldn't reach my goals properly, and this wasn't my expectation from last year. But this year I'm feeling full confident, especially with coach staff, with players. I mean, everyone is giving me very good support, and they try to improve me outside the game and in game as well. So yeah, I'm feeling very full confident. So everything will be different, my opinion, but we need to see how it goes.
Your body knows a sense of victory.
बस मैं मास्टर्स करके भी बेरोजगार बैठा हूँ. क्या करूँ?
Now,
वो
step
ढूंढने
into your
जाओ.
zone. Designed
क्या
to
पॉसिबिलिटी
win.
लग रही है जी और PRX दोनों के क्वालिफाई होने की?
Welcome back, folks. 7-5 for KC. You've heard from Levin there during the halftime
देखो,
break.
timeout में वो
Well, he
जो नंबर
certainly
दिख रहा
seems
था
to
ना
be
2 बार.
feeling at home over on that roster. Looking a bit better here today as well. A
4 के पहले और
10-6
3 के
start.
पहले.
There's been some criticism around him not
President
playing
को
that
सपोर्ट कर रहे
jump
KC
and his performance on
बोलते.
those roles, but at least for now,
Spam
he
नहीं
seems to be
करे.
shaping up well on Haven.
Yeah,
पहला
like,
वेंडल
I
स्किन
think
कौन सा लेना चाहिए?
a lot of
बजट
it was
1800
that
VP.
defensive side operator and being able to get himself into position
वो देखो.
quite a lot of the time, but I want to see how he's going to work on the attack, because that's the synergy between him and Aves. That's where I need to see them
ये रेस बेटा
working
है.
well together
Streams on थोड़ा
when
कम
they get
करो.
in for those executions. And
Physical
also I want to put a
execution,
highlight on
tactical
Baha,
tips needed.
because now moving on to that Killjoy defense, he's again going to play a big part, but I kind of need to see a bit more from the numbers.
Field डालो भाई. ये क्या?
KC, an attack side, slow shift towards this A site.
भाई ए पे कोई नहीं है chat.
They've done the work early. The turret, though, plays as the second man and at least secures the information for FUT. First Alley pulls back to site. Baha rotates in. The two rookies on that defensive side.
Bring them down.
Little do they know, they've got a big challenge coming their way. The entirety of KC, and one of the problems, that flash that's going to be in play for Abez, they can get in that smoke, they can fight their way out of that one way, especially with the wall up. It'd be so difficult to dodge that blind.
Yeah, I was about to say, the wall, it would actually have helped them with the one way, so I'm glad to see the ball back down again. I guess just being toggled by the other side. KC have decided to go back.
Data blind, please.
That one way. Cristalli in the corner, already left completely blind, but
W blind.
To get in time, and by that point, he's already able to see again. Eventually, is cleared out, but now Yetajay is in position. Mr. Fallen, he'll go down as well. His pistol's looking very good.
I think spot kiya usne.
Can play spoiler. Hiding within the smoke, burst, goes his way, he's able to duck back out of there, and all of the players are actually trapped within the same position. It goes down to just one, and the trade is there from Yetajay. Him and Zeus combined, and FUT have a pistol from a 2v4.
Oh, a sensational round. That
has
has
got
got
them
them
back
back in the game.
I mean,
their FUT was in the door after that resurgence in the first half, but now, well and truly locked in.
6-7,
They should be back to neck and
6-7.
neck. And the thing is, individuals were not there. And when you highlighted sure Baha's been a little shaky, but seeing Zeus, seeing Yetajay pop off like this again, Cristalli's had a lot of towards the end of that first half. They now feel like all the momentum's there. Look how loud they were getting. Finally,
game sound kam kya hole Binks. Game sound bada na. Lowle.
Classics. No chance to really disrupt this.
Lowle sab bol rahe yaar tu.
A heavy investment.
But
that future-proofs them so long as they don't get caught off guard by a blitz out of these free weapons.
This has been the worry with KC so far. Like, I think back to their Breeze versus Liquid. They're winning these big rounds, they had crazy clutches. I was like, okay, they won 3 3v5s in a row. That's ridiculous. And then they started losing. And they never came back. Like it was like the momentum shifted, and that was the game over. And it is feeling like the momentum has already shifted here. Mr. Fallen, he don't give a damn. He's gonna run straight through that utility. And blink and you miss it. FUT a level again.
That's the other thing about a team like FUT.
Obviously,
the reality is, for Mr. Fallen, leading two rookies, it's going to take some time.
Caster ka awaaz tumse zyada hai. Kaise?
4-3 there that has an incredible amount of experience.
Abhi, hello.
Those kind of teams, they're not easy to crumble. Whereas for KC, it feels like that's sort of their go-to.
They're the ones that has more.
Love you.
Like players that have been around longer. Players that, Sure, they haven't been together.
7-7, 7-7.
You kind of expect maybe a little bit more resilience. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe this is where the tide will turn. Of course, you could lose a pistol, you could lose a second, but on a map that for KC has always been pretty good, and a lot of it is down to this man and his Phoenix. Expectations are always going to be there. And the buy, well, they didn't lose many players in the last round, Mitch. It's just the FUT are very happy to play the SMGs.
Oi.
Few spotted, but
Abez gets the
volley down in time. He won't be crunched in the corner, but FUT come out swinging from Garage, knocking over a few before falling. The damage still going to favor that defensive side, even with those weaknesses in play. 11 one-shot, even to Cristalli with that Sheriff, who now is grouped up with Zeus, looking to move towards the C site. Setsu, the man holding the line. The shot's good on both accounts. Mr. Fallen. Well, he's led them to victory a few times. This time, Stinger in hand. And a player tucked in this close corner. He knows he's there now as well. But should be a freebie for Levin, as it proves to be. KC.
It was one where I think this round definitely would have been a
Binks
lot more dangerous.
99.2%.
Because I actually don't think the swing there was basically I think the pistol to try and get the trade, but he was just too clean with those initial shots. I like the initial trap play. I think Dosia does well to just sort of deny too much of an advantage. And interestingly, it's going to be KC, it looks like.
Aura bundle lena hai. Kaise and Kasalu.
KC, I think, are the only team in the league that makes me question whether it's them calling a timeout. Because that happened, I think it was the last game as well. Called a timeout and then almost lost every single round. Now they've won themselves. It wasn't the cleanest. And I also think even just the reactions from...
I've never seen him make that face before. Oh, the headset's coming off.
Oh, I think he's just been blasted with noise.
I
Okay,
think
that's
so.
what that face is.
I was gonna say, if you're proposing a strat and your coach makes that face,
Doritos कैसे लगते हैं? Doritos? उसने कहा है कि Doritos?
There's an IGL change coming like mid-map.
आज डिनर में क्या है? I think आलू मटर की सब्जी है.
That's one of my favorite reactions.
या फिर
I've
पाव
ever
भाजी.
seen.
दोनों में
The
से.
response to a coach.
That was like
coach,
if you just, what did you eat for lunch?
Oh my
Was
god.
it just
अच्छा है
eggs?
Doritos.
Don't ever say that again. Well, a timeout from KC.
Clearly I needed one.
I will say that, I agree with you. I think that looking at the last matchup, I think that 7-1 was on Breeze as well, wasn't
अच्छा
it?
चीज वाला ही है, चीज वाला ही है.
Timeout and they crumble. I do think that here, I agree with you, this makes more sense. Like, it's 8-7,
और
they
एक
won the
कुछ तो,
round, they lost 2, win 1. It's all
चीज डिप है.
And also, like, Shados' reaction, I was sort of like him swinging his arms up in the air.
कास्टर का साउंड कम करेगा तो गेम साउंड नहीं आएगा. दोनों एक साथ होता है.
Quick, pacey double kill. If that's a trade, which a lot of the time, from what we've seen, it would be, you lose that round and FUT steamroll you in this early half, run away with the lead, and with the shoe on the other foot like that, we know that often that is going to favor the team that finds that momentum late. But
did you stop non-veg after getting married? How did you manage that?
KC taking that moment
पांच तो मैं पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर ही नो यस नहीं दिया. दूसरा क्वेश्चन कैसे पूछ
And
लिया?
Avez's ult clears a lot of space for free towards this back B site. They'll get a plant out of this. Without a doubt, but a pick? I didn't think they'd get away with that.
No, that was Mr. Barnum. Maybe not expecting him to have enough range on the ult. For the remaining players, this is already starting to call into question if this is worth going for. You've got an operator on the retake.
Language.
You've not even made it back into the actual site yet. And what they don't realize is their opponents aren't even playing it. They are all in the post plant. This is all time that's being wasted.
Right, Kali.
For them to get back in. And with the wraparound already coming through, Aves just going to kill him straight up with the volley. The hot hands does the work.
उसको था कि मैं मार के ही रहूंगा.
Still, getting onto this is not going to be easy, and saving the operator becomes the point of call. It's KC to immediately extend their lead a little bit more. While the remaining two will at least hold on to their guns.
That 2-round lead now,
casting karo language.
Being put in their place, losing those back-to-back
Don't
rounds.
eat it, it's bad for us. Sachi?
Round after it, a breath of fresh air for KC. And the hot hands kill is just ridiculous. Zeus expecting him to swing at any moment, but it was a little too low for those kind of shenanigans. Nice pause. There you go. The praise to Zeish. His FUT now called their own timeout.
Running away with the initial phase.
Yeah.
Huh? पाव भाजी. लेकिन मेरे पास 2 ही पाव है. मेरे पास 2 पाव है ना लेकिन. लेकिन वो तो हाथ से खाने का है. तो पाव भाजी कैसे खाए? अरे लेकिन हाथ से खाने का ना वो. पाव से खाने का पाव भाजी. अरे 2 पाव. अरे
Zeus in on the sniper, which is not something I thought I'd be saying too much of. He was never really one for picking up that gun, but in the current meta, something you kind of.
Do you like Gyros? I love Gyros.
100%. I think, once we've seen that initiator utility peeled back, more chances to post up, more chances to get that first shot off.
They do have a lot of flashes though.
They do. They have quite a number on the KC
I've got
side.
Paneer, thank you.
For now, at least that's translated to rounds in their favor. 9 to 7.
Assist देखो बे 10 assist 14
Off
kill.
in the hands of Zeus. A rifle for Yedege. But the rest are left with pistols. The Paupers fight alongside the Prince, and they're thriving at least in the early fight. A nice connection by Baha. But a plant seems inevitable for KC nonetheless.
Spike planted.
Niklo.
Still, that damage could come back to haunt them.
Well, it seems like if at first
Drone
you do
hai,
succeed,
recon hai, sab
still try again. They've gone for the same take into the B site. This time there is a flank coming through, but it is incredibly slow from Cristalli. I'll be honest with you, if he keeps at this pace, the round will have ended by the time he gets there. And he also only has a classic, so he definitely has the element of surprise. They managed to get it to half, but actually, never mind, he might have just turned it to perfection. Mr. Barley ends up defusing losing.
बोला ना मैं.
Crystalli gets 2 with a classic.
बोला ना मैं निकालेगा. अच्छा flank था उसका.
Thoughts, Mitch?
No, none. I'm good.
आओ कभी आपको बना के खिलाते हैं gyros. Gyros only Mangalore.
Experience this round.
गर्ल्स को पसंद है दही बल्ला Binks by प्यारा.
Fiddlesticks, does that guy get away with that? The slowest flank of all time with nothing but a classic, and he happens to get the angle on the two players whose sole job it is to stop the defuse, to win the round.
टिप तो तोड़ा था मालूम है वो लोग लेकिन स्पैम करके उसको मार रहे थे ना डिफ्यूजर.
Hey, hell of a game. Clearly you should buy the FUT Classic. So there you go. This is going to be the advert. That's all FUT need to run from now on is you can win rounds in VCT.
Economy है लेकिन.
Just a FUT Classic and Mr. Fallen defusing. Come on, speaking of Mr. Fallen, there goes Levin. Shut down within seconds. This game has been a back and forth, but it hasn't felt close, if that makes sense. Like, at either times, one team has been dominating, and I wonder if this is the start of FUT getting back to that sort of streak once again.
Side.
Well, they've got the pick, but KC spread the net as a response. 50 seconds left. Noise made towards B. Flashes, wall, Molly, hot hands. It's all sent through. But FUT aren't moving. They're not buying it. And now in comes Anders Fury, the true intention now revealed. What has happened here? One of the worst reveals back to back from Crystalli in this map, but then he gets 2.
Oh, by sexy ult mara, sexy ult mara, sexy ult mara.
Somehow holding the line. He fell flat on his face to start this round, but he has a 3K under his belt. There's only 15 seconds for Shados to get to the site and plant this spike. Generational fumble needed, and Crystalli catches them all. He's on his feet.
Recon miss kiya fir bhi.
On level footing with KC. I don't know what I'm watching. I really don't. Like the reveal and that spray from Garage, I thought, oh, well, that's the round.
The thing is, so his Nightfall was great.
Yeah, sure.
Then he gets blinded, completely whiffs.
Chilli achari.
Don't you dare blame that on the blind.
He's panicking, all right?
He could see where the roof was.
People panic sometimes. Like, we forget he's a youngster on the stage, you know?
It's his first split. That's why he immediately triple tapped E when he threw
the thing is, you would have done that because
I would have
hit the reveal. I would have hit the reveal and hit nobody afterwards.
Language, kabhi-kabhi bhi ho jata hai.
Again, I came in today, I said, Baha and Crystalli, they're not scratching the itch. Well, now I only have one person to report because Crystalli looks unreal.
You're really on your hater arc today.
I'm just being honest. I have always been a massive out-of-captain fan, though. So you have huge, I know it sounds weird with this comp, but in general, you have huge boots to fill. Well, here comes the execute in towards the A site, and Zeus is already going to be blinded off. Now they don't know that actually there's a change in direction. Flash through on B, and Yedije only just about makes it out with his life. Paranoia will steal his vision. Sugetsu steals his life. The guardian of the B site. Nobody. Hello. Steps in to shut him down, and the spike still hasn't been planted. The pressure's still on. But Levin holding from far back's giving them a chance. One that they won't soon relinquish. KC still with the lead, and the maddening rounds continue.
That's just nuts.
Nice, Arjun Kapoor. Love you, yaar.
All revealed off the back of it, and then Sugetsu just almost with like a miracle spam.
Bhai, ultimate dekho be.
I don't think he expected 2 to be anywhere near that close. We spoke about him in his hero rounds. Like, I feel like you're going to get to the end of Kickoff and maybe look at his overall statistics and go, oh, the Sugetsu's fallen off.
Yeah,
rounds in which he's winning them.
Stream kal bhi dekh
Definitely
sakte.
wouldn't agree with that. Zeus is going to go walkabouts. Early flash dodged, but he can't correct quick enough. And I believe that was the only gun they had.
Yes, indeed. Unless my eyes deceive me, I see lots of pistols on the ground.
11-9.
Not too many left in the hands of players. And only Crystalli, 4K previously, was pretty impressive. But
so what I need him to do is I need to throw his horn into a wall and then get an ace.
Yes, if he can reveal himself, and then he should be fine. That's what we've seen so far. But look, if he finds this ace,
बोर्ड चालू हो गया.
Forget all about cracks.
भाई मेरे को एक बात बताओ, तुम लोग लाइफ में डर के जियोगे क्या? हाँ, घर वालों से डरते हो, एग्जाम से डरते हो, रिजल्ट से डरते हो, बंदियों से डरते हो. सीक्रेट सॉस पता है लाइफ का? कॉन्फिडेंस. कॉन्फिडेंस, कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ जाओ एग्जाम रूम में, कॉन्फिडेंस से आंसर्स लिखो, और जब भी रिजल्ट आएगा ना, कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ उस दिन छुट्टी लो. कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ. लाइफ चेंजिंग टिप, लाइफ चेंजिंग टिप.
MIT sent you an invitation, Tom. Pattern recognition off the charts.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't read, so I wasn't able to tell.
couldn't RSVP. Well,
Thank me later.
After a huge lead to start this game off, they may be set to just take this across the line, but there are definitely challenges. No Hunter's Fury online for
एग्जाम हॉल में जाओगे ना, वहाँ पे बोलना, आ गया मैं सर एग्जाम देने, पेपर दो.
Unlikely to be the A site considering the pit's already been put into play.
सर डरना चाहिए. अरे बाप रे.
You have your pit up, but you still need to commit those two players towards that A
इतना
site.
प्रिपरेशन तो मैं क्वेश्चन में नहीं डाला था.
Around you. At least to start, there's some pressure put on towards A long, but I mean it's just a decoy.
ये कॉन्फिडेंस ने लाइफ डिस्ट्रॉय किया है, तो उसको कहते हैं ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस.
Signal a bit more that we're really looking to pressure the A side. But the TP's taken, and we're all the way to the C side. Oh, hold on, Levin's going to run out in the open. He's going to stick on site. And a flash deep, but no follow-up. Just take it for map control, that's fine.
Well, the run it back was kind of already cleared everything out, so no reason for him to
kill ult
TP anywhere
right
else.
now.
Setting up ready with the lockdown, which will force them off the site, but they have a post plant that doesn't necessarily need much more. I'm looking at the Nightfall, which could make things awkward. Levin, he's just trying to stick around, maybe get one and escape. No, there's no escape method. He was just looking to try and do damage, and damage he has done to get to just about getting away with things here. And his luck's going to be important. They're running through to try and deal with the Nightfall. Mr. Fallen tapping it halfway, but it's Avis. He kicked off the round, he'll finish it, and KC just one away from taking the back. If you looked at how they started, maybe they should have done a while ago.
Yeah, you would have thought we're on map 2 already.
Round आ रहे, लेकिन अच्छा खेला.
First quarter or so. And yeah, Levin didn't have a gate crash. He had no way out, but he realized I can disrupt, I can make this costly, and finding 2 is all he needed to do. Like, even if Aves goes down there though, Sugetsu is in garage and is about to swing in, so there's that extra layer to it as well. Where
not all the camera में देखा? क्यों?
Keep it rolling.
Yeah, unfortunately for FUT, they were. That was a lockdown, a Viper's Pit, and Nightfall all used. They didn't manage to take the round. In fact, a lot of ultimates were used in that last round. And then they also had the economic troubles. A Judge, a couple of Guardians. In fact, light shields on everybody other than Yetajay, making this sniper the equivalent of an operator. Levin's managed to get himself quite far. Now, he does obviously have the gate crash on the other side, but he's waiting to see, okay, is someone going to jump spot? Is someone going to look for information? They are, just not on his side of the map. And well, they've got walkabouts and found Aves.
Look how close Levin is. He could catch him on the run
back.
He's holding the angle.
Cut se, bro.
Spreading the net wide. And it's a big catch with Cristalli down.
Oh, the double back.
Oh, there we go. Got there in the end.
Not even close.
The A side completely gone. That's the other thing with Cristalli down. You've got one guy to watch 2 angles.
This
should be the end of map 1 and FUT having to bounce back on split. Even then, they put up one hell of a fight.
Next match FUT का हो सकता है कि
from kickoff on the line. They'll fight every battle that they're offered. A 2v4 and 2v3 now. It's looking doable.
Yeah, it's not a bad start. Yetajay walking up is all about to fade, but that leaves an opening. A big opening, in fact. And now that leaves just one.
1 second.
Dosia versus Yetajay.
The
man coming over from Pacific to take them with a lead, and he's hit the headshot, but he's not managed to get the kill. A 2v4 that keeps FUT alive.
Again, we said it earlier. This is a squad that certainly won't be given up until that final bell is rung.
Binks bhai, सब आपके views,
Go until the
आपके
buzzer. And
growth,
my God, what a set of
आपका
shots
सब,
coming
तो
out of the
मजा
energy.
हमको क्यों आता है हर्षिल भाई?
It does feel silly though, like Levin
ये
being
बात
that
आप
far
जब
forward.
membership लोगे
When you
ना
know
तब
that the
समझेगा.
Viper wall is up and there's someone
we win
watching
that
it from a
round, it's different game.
deeper angle, like that just seems like
तब आप
silly
आपका
mistakes
growth,
coming out of the
आपका
side
views
of
और
KC.
आपकी membership ऐसा भी लिख सकता है.
For that
कौन
exact
मैसेज कर रहा
reason,
है?
seeing those mistakes be made, and I think we
Sorry,
saw
sorry.
some signs of this from this roster. Again, you look at the discipline up against the anti-ecos in the first half, a lot of aggressive positions, a lot of one and done or corners that you're stuck in. You got to go big or go home. And, you know, those risks they're taken again here. It's just the gameplay on KC needs to be tightened up a bit, but the game plan in general seems solid. They're coming in with different ideas. One of the people that we've criticized, obviously Levin, we've had that whole conversation, but Abez as well. He's had his ups and downs. And on the Phoenix, there is an argument for control and how oppressive the utility can be as well. But really, if your Phoenix is, you know, 15 and 22, something like that, we're going to have expected that little bit.
The funny thing is like the take was great. Like they had the early aggression, then the reposition from Levin was fantastic. The wraparound that came in from Sugetsu was perfect. The post plant just left massive gaps, and like especially when you basically closed the map. Yeah. If you just like, I think it was Shados was just holding too deep an angle, but that just needs to be communicated. Levin takes 2 steps back, he doesn't die there, and that never happens.
I think the thing is for Shados as well, as that new IGL coming in, you've got a lot to learn, and I think that is the hardest part, is in those post plans, because they're the least rehearsed. In sort of, you end up in that moment, okay, what utility do we have? What positions do we have? What map controllers we had to give?
Dude, आपके membership लेनी है edit and love मेरी जान कर उठाए.
And then come up with a good plan on the spot real quick. He's busy doing that.
Check,
So you
Vele
end up
alt है.
dropping an angle or something that you would be watching if someone else was doing that thinking.
Vele alt
That will
है, वो
change
लोग
over
see
time
full retake
with
छोड़ा है.
experience. For now, those are the things they have to contend with. But we can see
भाई
that
जब
those
भी
more
इतना
rehearsed
close
parts
जाते हैं,
executes those
अगर
plays
कोई
and giving players a
first
little bit of
pick होके
space
मर
to
गया,
drive. That
और
part of the
उसके वजह
game
से
plan
round आ
is
रहा है,
being
कितना
executed
बुरा
pretty
लगता रहेगा
flawlessly
ना
by
बे.
KC. 2 chances to lock in their map pick. And again, with the stakes being this high, you had so many chances to fall and falter, but now down to just 1. This series will send one of these teams home. This is KC's 2 chances to make sure it isn't them.
ये वो लोग आराम से retake करेंगे, क्योंकि already slow के लिए plus Vele alt है ना.
Expectations. So you have a huge fan base, but also just the
जब
players
30
that were
second
brought
रहेगा, वो
in,
लोग
like
C पे
Levin,
walk in करेंगे.
is definitely up there as one of the best rookies of last year.
But there is a need.
Osio made a huge impact over in Pacific.
ये round हारने वाले.
And this is getting late on the time. 25 seconds left, and while the run through has found nothing, it's all about the push on the other side of the map.
Bro.
I'm getting a little bit nervous about that convergence path. It's already being put in. It has missed, but even still, they've got to try and bypass the player at the back of the site. Everybody now set up and ready to go. 7 seconds, and they need to get that planted. They need to get it in now. It's being stuck, but I don't think it's going to matter anyway. Zeus,
बाप रे माता रानी.
time was left. He's managed to take it all down. And KC just too slow to get in. That's an 11.
Movement देखा?
And that's now an opportunity for FUT to take us to OT. I don't know, have they played any OT so far this tournament?
No, I think probably not experienced with that sort of stamina drain, Tom, you know? It'll be tough, such quick matches.
Maybe we can ask
Vele ने ult क्यों मारा पता नहीं.
if they've seen them play any OTs.
They started planting
उसने मारा
after
sexy.
4 seconds. Unless I've misread that twice, I'm 99% sure they had no time to plant
I
anyways.
thought you could only count to 3.
+1.
But I saw the number 3.
10 minutes.
Ah, okay, I
Before the plan
understand.
started.
अब कुछ भी करके आवाज आ रहा है, कुछ चाहिए.
So yeah, there was a few errors there for sure. And now Shados and Avez tagged heavily.
वो लोग ready
on this
थे
play
बे,
from Mr.
Phoenix
Forward.
ult के लिए.
Oh yeah, he can. Well, he can actually ult
Members,
and heal
thanks for
himself
the
up
members
properly,
game.
but
Love you
And now
यार,
use the
love you
place.
शौविक भाई.
or the other way around.
Use all your
सपने में
utility.
भी नहीं सोचा था, ऐसे लिख रहा था.
Maybe
40
let's-
रुपए था
let's
करके
focus on the ult
पूरा नहीं
before
लिखा.
we waste our wall
Love
on
you यार
healing.
शौविक भाई, love you यार.
Who needs a wall?
KC a man down already. Shados being, I mean, he was 2 away from Hunter's Fury coming into this post plant that could have completely turned the tide in their favor. And now they're
He's
ending
one
up
away.
Camera
waiting
omen
through
omen
this.
ऊपर था
one
ना?
away, fantastic.
Super.
If they can res him, maybe he'll get the orb on the plant.
over. You're dead. Watch your
Here it is. The run it back foot into play. Look how far back foot are. They've learned their lessons. It was Mr. Fallen who got caught out by this before. It's basically in the same position, but
My time to jump.
has that little bit more room to fall back. And now KC, the ones with the pressure on their shoulders, they have to find a pick here. The man behind in the post plan.
उसने दूसरे को देखा ही नहीं.
Oh
my!
And Sugetsu. They need to try and win themselves a 2v5. They almost lost it on a 2 versus 4. They will end up in OT. A nice attempt from Dosia, but it is FUT streaking rounds together. It felt like a one-sided game, but at different points of the map, and we've now ended up in overtime.
It's actually unreal as well that even with the headset on, with Tom shouting, with gunshots there, I can still hear Yedije shouting from the
he's
stage.
definitely louder than me.
He's so loud, man. But yeah, Baha's rotate here was so key. And the fact is, that should have been checked, right? It takes you a quarter of a second to spin your mouse around and see, is there a dude behind me? Kind of the point of the old 11. Came in there like a horse with blinkers on. It was
मेरे को लग रहा है उसने स्टार्टिंग में देखा नहीं है ना, तो उसको लगा वो सिटी में रहेगा रोटेशन के लिए, क्योंकि बी पे प्लांट तो इतना हुआ है तो सिटी में रहेगा करके.
A bit shaky,
या फिर शिलोंग
to say the least. KC 12 to 12.
देखना तो चाहिए था, 1 सेकंड लगता है, देखना तो चाहिए था.
Look at FUT as the side favored, not just because momentum, the fact that they bounced back from a map they looked out of, but
nothing. This game.
Start with KC, it certainly hasn't.
It seems like the momentum has flipped at least 5 times in this game.
But I think the main thing for me is the fact that Crystalli's the one top fragging. My guy's looking unbelievable, the rookie.
Well, he's stunned again. And they're going to find him. See you later, Sugetsu. Shados trying to hold the line. He's looking for that team. Not quite enough on the third, but he's done well. Dosia into the corner.
Has
an idea of where his opponent will be. But in the meantime, his teammate has retreated. Bear in mind, Yeteshe has clearly been dinked up. 10 health.
भाई ओमेन अगर ऊपर एवेंट पे मारता ना वो लोग शायद निकाल लेते हैं.
Someone into a fight with his teammate while he goes and gets the spike down, which he will get down. There is no one on this side of the map.
At this point, you know, one away from the Viper's hit. The plan now will lock it in, but getting it done here, you're going to do it. Why not? But it might equal the odds at best. The thing is, Baha knows he has to take a risk here. And going to be wanting to play, sitting in garage, beautiful. Baha has that little bit of extra space to maybe fall back into, to maybe play into.
Shit.
He'd normally maybe play behind the wall though, but he can't play behind it because it's so spammable. That's the problem. There's not really any safe space to play into. Baha tried his best, and now Yedeshe hiding outside. 10 HP. It's 1 bullet needed. KC, I feel like taken the lead in this game. They brought in level plenty of times, but each time KC have reclaimed the lead the second they level it up.
Yeah, I actually think you're spot on.
Round जीतने बाद खड़े हो जाते हैं 0-6
and they fall behind the second that they get sights on the coattails of KC. That was a nice flick back from Shados. You can see him putting the pieces of the puzzle together as well. He's TP'd, smoke up top, maybe he's there. Wait a second.
1 health.
Spins to his back. And yeah, for Aves, 1 health was enough to survive that. Shots traded, but he has that extra HP. KC, another chance to close out this map, move us on to split, where they'll have 2 chances to send FUT home.
Even लग रहा है ना, लेकिन team दोनों
clash as well.
It's all right. FUT always come back when they're at a deficit, so no need to worry if you're a Turkish fan. Oh, Zeus is about to come under a lot of pressure though. The trade's back effective. Aves doing the work once again.
That could be it.
Sugetsu.
It's
caught a massive time. He's heard rotations, but this is the problem they had before. You've heard rotations from one player, you haven't heard rotations of the second. Does Baha even check this angle? I don't know why he would. No expectation of Sugetsu to be there. And you almost have to wonder, do the other players start to question, okay, do we just go back to B? It doesn't seem like it. And the drone is not seen either of them.
Look at the freeze from KC now. They saw nothing A, but they made noise with the drone. They think players could be close. They could rotate in. They could push. FUT could be confused and wonder where they are. Well, now they found them. The snake's waiting in the grass, and it's a big bite from KC.
Bye, don't away
from FUT. Their pick under their belt. And now 2 chances to knock FUT out of kickoff.
It is a sort of crazy game, but we're going to go over to the sideline interview with Dosia.
Okay, Dosia is here, still high-fiving his teammates, but I have a quick question for you. Really great individual performance. Going back and forth. How are you going to make sure you don't overheat going into split and you stay grounded?
We just trust our staff that we trained for a long time. We just fix the mistakes that we had in previous matches and working on our strengths. So yeah, now it's going in the right direction, I would say, maybe. So let's see the next map. Excited to play. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. We're going to be heading over to a quick break, and we'll be back with the second map of the series.
Your body knows. A sense of victory. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
तुम लोगों को दिखा है ना? माउस, कीबोर्ड ये सब देखा ना तुम लोग ने?
Red Bull gives you wings.
हाँ? अबे क्या बचा? अर्जुन कपूर की एक्टिंग देखो इसमें. Who won first map? Fnatic. पहला मैप Fnatic जीता. What up, Radiant? Bhai, on the way. Bhai, 2 गेम दूर हो भाई. 2 गेम दूर हो भाई. कल मैं इतना इमोर्टल 3 सनक को कैरी किया, वो कुछ नहीं. Let's go Benedict language. नाचो मैं पहले क्या है? let's गाली की language. बस पाव में दर्द हो रहा था, अभी पाव भाजी कैसे?
Tough guy 혀꼬여서 도망가 이제는 시시해 gunfight I brought a blade They forgot to shave that just a wall 맛보게 fade 빛이 보여 네 bandits 끝없는 내 rampage 이게 나니까 절대 can't change 내게 나서 plan B 요즘 plan A 바꿔 pain every champion into champagne Broken and bruised What's left to lose Here on the edge of forever If I never win I'll never fly I'll sacrifice Fight until the final hour Pain is my superpower Keep my head up high Ride through rain or shine Can't help it without the sour Pain is my superpower
याद रखना. बिंक्स ने मेरे को मुक्का मारा. प्लीज याद रखना.
If I never win, I'll never fly. I'll sacrifice. Fight until the final hour. Pain is my superpower. Keep my head up high. Ride through rain or shine. Can't help it without the sour. Pain is my superpower. Fight until the final hour. Pain is my superpower.
This is the first time we see FUT on Haven this kickoff. What value are you looking to get out of the Waylay in this comp?
We make sure Waylay bit aggressive when we are on attack side, and his ult so strong. So we put instead of the Neon. So that's why we picked. I guess, yeah. Did I say wrong?
No.
No? Yeah.
All good.
Thank you so much for that insight, and welcome back, everybody, to VCT EMEA Kickoff. We're going to start things off immediately with that Waylay. Do you feel like they got the value?
I don't know if it was necessarily that they got the value out of the Whaley. I feel as if there's two very different ideas with how they were playing with the comp, with the Viper like Killjoy on one hand, and then the Whaley on the other where they want to play aggressive. Like, I feel as if there's very contrasting ideas there, so I mean, they clearly didn't get the value because they didn't win the map.
Yeah, but you know, whoa. See, that could have been the short answer.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I love the explanation. But I think, I mean, for both of these teams, this was such a back and forth, and it was down to FUT having great things and KC, you know, making these small little mistakes as well that Zaysh has highlighted already earlier, and they capitalized off of it.
Yeah, there were a few rounds. There was a thrifty early on, and a few of these clutches where FUT looked like they were winning rounds because of KC's mistake. And that was something that was highlighted before, and that's something where KC going forward, if they want to make a run, is obviously something they need to work on. But it seems to be a recurring theme with KC. So to me, something needs to happen where the coaches are going in there and really stopping these things. Because they are pretty basic mistakes. You shouldn't be losing 4v2. You shouldn't be losing 2v1. Like the 2v1, and they were just jumping around. Looked like it was just a bit silly.
Yeah. And I think the thing as well, like to kind of talk about that, and the practice that KC's had, they played in Project Blender in the off season, right? I know like it's an off season tournament, you can say what you want, but there's official practice in there, and I didn't really see those issues off the top of my head back then. So is this something that has just started coming about since we've got past Christmas? I don't know, but yeah,
nerves on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think at this point as well, like you're in this lower bracket, this is do or die. It really shouldn't be these kind of mistakes being made, because a lot of these players, not all of them, they have that experience already, so it's not in that sense, you know, we can't really go back to it, but players specifically that we
भाई मेरे को एक बात बताओ, 1 घंटा लग रहा है पाव भाजी बनाने को। पाव भाजी मैं कितना टाइम में बनाता हूँ? मैंने 2 मिनट्स मैगी जैसे 2 मिनट्स में 2 मिनट्स में बनता है मेरे से पाव भाजी। 2 मिनट्स। क्या टीवी पे सुन रहे हो? हाँ? Echo आवाज।
Side, where a mixture of the IGLing and the mid-rounding, and then also playing Euro on attack.
Mini bolte.
Going forward into the series, I think there's a lot of value on that defense. Attack side is where, you know.
Yeah. And I think as well, like there's comparisons to last year and to this year in terms of Levin playing under a first-time IGL, right? Like Shados being the first time last year. You had like a very direct and, I guess, arm over the shoulder kind of coach like Pal. Does Eng and Zaysh kind of give that same support to Levin in terms of supporting him? I mean, like it seems like when Levin has a good start, he always kind of carries that momentum forward.
Yeah, it's something that we're going to have to look into, but also we had a chance of a coach's confession from the side of KC, so let's see what they had to say regarding map veto.
ओए लवली नो
You left your open.
ओ सब्जी लिखा था ना सॉरी
shift in map pool more recently. No.
मेरे जैसे पढ़ता है भाई
But no, there was nothing happening. It's just like
stop. We should not.
No, we should replay now.
Really?
Yeah. There is nothing happening. It's just like we need to work on our maps. And like as you can see, they banned the Abyss. So like we have other options, and we just need to show it. Like because if we lose today, and we didn't practice it like before the next season, it means it's bad. So yeah.
कढ़ाई में से प्लेट में बाजी और डब्बे में से पाव लेने को पाव भाजी बनाना नहीं बोलते। 2 मिनट में पाव भाजी बनाएगा।
And now it is the decider, which we had a couple of questions about Mini actually coming into this. We're like, oh, that means something has to be good because you don't want the decider to be a weaker map. But first things first, though. Split coming up next, and that is a map that FUT played already, but yeah.
I mean, it's a very close game against Fnatic. I think the story for this map is that Yetuje plays Waylay, which is very strange. Like the first composition they played Haven, a very cerebral composition, but then with Zeus going in by himself on Waylay, now he's gonna have that double duelist angle.
And now it's gonna have
Neon and Yetuje? Neon and Waylay, sorry. So a lot more of a traditional FUT approach. Like they can go very aggressive together. They're gonna have that support with each other. Makes a lot of sense to me.
And I totally agree with Mini. And like you've got like utility there to help control the chokes through the duelists as well, like through that relay bowl, the stun, and the kind of slow from the ETG. But overall, like FUT were being aggressive last week against Fnatic, and I think this comp actually supports that idea.
Yeah, the only thing is it's Yetterjee and Waylay, and I'll be honest, not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And then to go on KC's side, it's all about Levin again, in my opinion. This composition, Levin hasn't had that much fun with so far.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of utility around him to go.
Levin needs like 12 kills.
But so far on the Waylay, especially on those attack sides, it
according
feels like
to
he's
me,
going in deep and just dying a lot of the time. So this was one of those maps where I think the Jet was an easier fix for him. But let's see if they have fixed those little issues with the composition.
Yeah, well, let's figure that out as we're ready to head into our second map of this matchup. This really is do or die for FUT. They have to win this if they want to push this to the decider, otherwise they are going to go home. But we have our lovely casters, Mitch and Tom, to break it down.
Yes, do or die time for FUT, but they're on their pick.
Unmod karo wale frosty jao jaake chaddi review language.
Much to the surprise of everyone involved.
I'll be honest with you, my
Bank
confidence
bhai, love you too many jaan
I don't think this has piqued my interest. I said if
no
a team is
sound
going to make the lower bracket run, one of them needs to dominate. Neither of them dominated.
They
went
both
to
dominated at different times.
Sure. Okay. Well, if they both could dominate and then swap halves and then dominate in the same half and one of them win 13-0.
Okay, we need
then I'd have
consistent
faith.
Domination.
Yeah. I need to see a big performance, and so far,
KC Masters
been a lot of
qualify
mistakes, a lot of silly
past
moments. For FUT going in, I agree with Mini. I've actually spoken to their assistant coach about the Yetterjee Waylay. I think you take one of the best Sentinels in the region. I know that we've moved away from like the Sentinel meta. I understand that. Putting him on Waylay, sure, he's got good aim. But I think that if you're looking for a duelist player in Turkey, there's quite a lot of those. And I think you could have had him and maybe the Viper, for example, which he is excellent at. And that would make a lot more sense. And especially, we haven't seen the best of Baja so far. So I want to see why he's in the team and why he is taking a role that I would rather see Yetterjee play.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just sticks with the narrative that we've had for FUT throughout the entirety of Kickoff, which is identity issues. Figuring out how these pieces
लंदन में मेंबरशिप महंगी है, प्लीज सस्ती करवाओ। 2200 रुपया देता हूँ हर महीना, बड़ा पाव खाने के पैसे।
Like, this is a squad that had the lead concretely. It was in their favor.
आप गए भी तो लंदन में हो यार, come on man.
But they passed it over to FUT as well. What do you think's missing on KC's side? Because again, we've talked about FUT, their issues, the rookies, and the identity and everything like this. But for KC, in terms of the individuals they have, I think Doge is probably the one that will have the least eyes on for most of the scene, and yet still has been delivering massively. So it feels like there's no shortage of individuals, there's no shortage of individual experience as well on that roster, and yet they find themselves here fighting for survival.
लंदन में कौन सा सुपर होता है?
The other side of the coin, and the fact that Dosia might be the one I'm looking at most, just because of the crazy performance he had in Pacific last year. Like, this was one of the most exciting pickups for me, but I agree with the sentiment of like, I expected this team to come in and be like maybe top 6. Like, I expected them to be challenging for top of the playoffs, challenging to make it to the event, and so far they've struggled with what I call the basics, like, we can't hold on to a 2v4 post plan where players are rotating from the other side of the map because we forgot to check an angle. Like, these are silly mistakes, and I think those are things that you can fix, but it's also more infuriating when you go, okay, if they could just get through all of that stuff and actually just look at the actual setups and ideas they have, I think they'd be all right. I also think as well that you've gone into a meta where Yoru's super important, Waylay's super important, and you have one duelist who Flex that plays a lot of off-meta stuff, like plays a lot of Phoenix and can play a decent range.
Rajal bhai, thank you for the €2 of the pounds, मेरी जान. लेकिन आपने बताया ही नहीं कि.
But also the guy that
क्या कर रहे हो वहाँ पे? वो chat आपने लिखा ही नहीं. वहाँ पे नीचे message.
There's a lot of big shoes to fill, and a lot that I need to see before I'm starting to get on the hype train for KC. The fact that we're going into a map where they lost to Liquid and lost to Na'Vi doesn't necessarily fill me with confidence, and a lot of the problems arose on that attack. So again, can they set up Levin properly? Can he take the space that's needed? And more importantly, can FUT stop them and survive?
What I find most surprising, the fact that Tejo not really played too much here. KC already taking the advantage with the early push towards the top of A ramp. Levens found the opening.
Single life कैसे मारते हैं? मैं तो नहीं मार पाया आज एक
The
दिन.
pace pickup seems to have halted here. A minute 20 on the clock as the attack side have an opening pick. They have control. They have no need
भाई
to make any
बहुत low
further
है बे
pressure.
YouTube.
Would have rotated in, but sooner or later they have to send players back to clear all those gaps, or send players forward to confirm the forces are still here.
Toxin screen down.
Flash alongside utility. Nice counter
भाई
stun.
क्या
Actually,
मारा बे बाहर
has
ने.
managed to bring this back once again. Shados puts it further in their favor. Yedajay's just checking the other side of the map just in case, but he'll eventually look to wrap back around, and the heal will make things a little bit less dangerous.
क्या लगता है?
For the side of KC. Are they going to walk spawn?
P2B.
Yes, the smoke. Pulled back, players spotted for Mr. Fallen, and he runs to the A side. He's got backup here, and Yedajay's already rotated in that heaven position, perfect for his 10 HP. Nicely tucked in the corner. It's a setup from FUT, and trapped and sprung perfectly to put 1-0 on the board.
Please convert करके देखो एक पॉइंट कितना महंगा है. इतना महंगा नहीं है भाई.
The main
इतना
point
महंगा
I'd
नहीं
make
है.
about
एक पॉइंट मतलब
this series
कितना
as a
हुआ?
whole is I think
30, 40
the
rupees.
setups that KC have are better, like their initial plans. The mid
1000 points अगर आया
is way better than what we're seeing from KC. Because like the early start there, they killed out Zeus.
कि
I
मेरे
think
chat
Zeus
में कभी
ends up
देखा नहीं
stunning his
1000
own
points.
teammate, and Yedajay almost dies. And then just the adaptation to have a decent piece of utility in place, a crossfire that worked well, and a reposition from Mr. Farlin was far better from a disadvantageous position from FUT.
So one of the things I was going to say is, like, for KC, bringing in the Teho, this is, I'm pretty sure, the only Teho that we
अरे नहीं नहीं वो edit किया किसने तो Google में वो edit किया किसने तो.
But we don't really see Teho play when it comes to this map, and it's kind of surprising to me that that's the case when you think about how many close angles there are for players to rat out in, and how effective they can be for clearing out, not just with the salvos.
देव भाई को बोल के देव भाई नाम मान रहे थे अभी मानने लग गए.
Think of the ultimate and how many almost inescapable angles
there are. किधर बे देव भाई?
You can put players under. With that on this map in particular, where everything boils down to a laneway that's essentially a little too small for that ultimate, so the ult will always cover it. It's a very effective agent, and I'm honestly surprised to see that no one else has picked it up. That said, unless I'm mistaken, they haven't won with him, any of the times. KC have played 3 times and lost all 3 with him. So,
an in-zone flawless coming in for FUT will give them a nice setup in terms of the economy.
याद कर
Again,
रही.
they use a lot of SMGs in their second rounds, which it makes it a lot more likely that they'll get
भेजा
something.
मैंने message
In
भेजा
these
उसको.
rounds, they need to pull off a lot that slide through. But Dosi has done well to hold the line. The rest of the team are making their way through towards Mr. Farlin, and this time his spam won't quite be enough.
ये क्या backup है?
It's possible we go from one flawless to another. Crystalli on the other side of the map. And KC looking
ये
like
क्या
they're
backup है
gonna
भाई?
get onto the board in clean fashion.
Yeah, poor Doge is
ये
left
क्या
on 5
backup
HP
है?
watching the flank while everyone else gets healed up. He's being robbed. And now he's given the
Flawless.
spike. Yep. It's okay though, he got a
हाँ,
heal
हाँ.
from 5 to 7, so they saved that little bit at the end
Every
for
little
him,
helps.
which is nice. It's good to
तीन
feel
का या
respected by your teammates. The priorities here.
Spike planted.
But either way, it is only one player. And he's, I think, just being spotted by Shados. Yeah, well, that certainly appears to point in that direction. All chance to Crystalli. I don't think he's getting anything done. Damage would be nice. Everyone has a rifle here.
He's burning utilities.
नमक पाने थोड़ा
Sure, yeah,
सा.
listen, the cost is running up.
There you
Master
go.
Chef भाई Michelin star.
Weapon here.
Michelin star.
An
Sprinted
upgrade.
and diffused.
He's being flanked on. Now the player behind is very low.
Rickle
but
बोलते हैं.
versus a knife.
भाई
Not gonna be
DOS9
too
मार
difficult
रहा है
for
रे.
Dosia. 2-1.
DOS9 मार
Relatively
रहा है.
clean round in the end for KC, and what was a fantastic start from Dosia. You're seeing that individual brilliance, that
God,
raw
man.
aim that he has.
और इसने spot किया और
You could
लोगों ने
see
spam किया.
awkwardness created by
Huh?
those salvos, forcing players
Michelin
to
star.
awkward fights.
This is it. I feel like we'll see FUT though when they go to the attack side, just off how the series has gone so far. That's where they can find the most advantages in terms of playing off of those mid-round calls, pushing and pulling KC's defense. But on the attack, where things are in KC's control in terms of the pace. And more when they go for those executes, which often on split, you know, you got to get through.
Valo का इतना crucial match के time पे बटर के साथ पावभाजी देखेंगे लोग तो game कैसे improve होएगा?
All the way into the back.
नहीं खेलना वो लोग को VCT.
So in one of the first rounds, we see him go for those early spams, but now he's got an orb literally sat at his feet. So the second they look to go around that angle, he can't fight anymore because otherwise he's going to take the decay.
Fitting facts तू हो गया.
Not be able to see, which
fitting facts
wouldn't be ideal. Dawn's gone through, player confirmed to be in position. And it looks like KC won't be deterred. Of course, they've got another dog, so to speak. But that drone will be sent
time for execute in 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Fallen having to move, gets his one way up, pulls back the smoke though. And behind Yedager here to play. Found themselves massive advantages in the late play up by Doja. It's going to be watched at this point. FUT have got boots on the ground, and sure, Doja gets the kill. But he's left on 8 HP. A spam will be more than enough to take him down.
Player standing.
He's caught in the open. 11 alone. A save for 20 seconds. It's like the most likely play. Certainly the most economic.
I do wonder if those direct hits are going to be difficult for KC if they're pushing into the Mr. Fallen setup. Because even though they made things very awkward for him, the fact that you can have a Gravwell, I think a Snakebite coming in from heaven as well, it just means that you're running invulnerable and you're being pulled back and you have players holding onto the cross. So I do think KC are going to have, like the hit's not bad. I think you just need to force a few players to maybe fight into mid or maybe go for some of these other peaks because this almost seemed a little bit too easy as they ran into the site.
मेरे को एक बात बता इसमें तूने वो डाला ना रेडीमेड पाव भाजी मसाला
under pressure, and again when you look at how Mr. Fallen was dealt with there, they had a first piece of utility to push him back in, the salvos
नहीं पाव भाजी मसाला रेडीमेड भाजी बनाया वाह पाव भाजी मसाला बनाया ना वो तो भाजी है कि नहीं
Oh my goodness! Okay,
ये सब मिचेलिन स्टार को पता रहता है पाव भाजी मसाला
and then Fallen flat in their face. Alves out of the round. And a 5v4, look, you'll trade that mid control for a man advantage any day.
Oh yeah, Baja's been great so far. I said I want to see what he's got to sort of take that Viper away from Yedager, but
इसको काना मत दो रे इसको कदर नहीं ऐसा ना करो यार
and then the early opener in this one.
Sexy बना पंकु
Cosmic Divide going to be thrown through. It's mainly whether or not we see that utility burst, and it's meant to be a bit of a ruse. The ruse has worked out, but the trade backs are good. Mr. Fallen still keeps the advantage with his squad, knowing that the others have likely crossed in. He's taken quite a lot of early space and definitely has to be a little careful of the potential flash that could come through the divide. But he'll just wait back.
Oh, the flash was used there.
वो लोग साइड में खेलना पड़ेगा
KC only have a snake bite and a bit of heal left to work with. They knew Cosmic Divide was up, so they play on the backside. The reveal, the snake bite, everything thrown through by KC. It was the snake bite in return, but Zagetsu walks in, and they're just holding it, waiting further back. Shados up close. He's going to go in for the knife. He hasn't landed it. Halfway already. He's failing to stop the defuse. Cosmic Divide not quite as close as he expected it to be. And ends up looking a bit foolish while FUT push up to 4.
Yeah, I think it was put in so that you could just about see that they were defusing, but it means if someone goes right on the edge, you're not close enough to knife them. And then I think he knows that Crystalli's on the other side. At least manages to bait him out. I like a lot of the sort of re-aggression we're seeing out from FUT. This is amazing.
Wido take number no Wido. Don't die.
Good reaction shot.
Mr. Fallen has no idea what's going on either. He's got his back turned while a blade's just swinging at him multiple times. Lucky to survive, but KC not feeling so lucky down on that stage.
Binks got really lucky with Piggedy.
Start the last map with this kind of confidence. Now, look, the good thing, as you pointed out, Tom, you can see that momentum shift several times in the last map.
Yeah.
Well, this is FUT's choice. But for now, at least, it seems to be hard to detach their foot from the pedal down below. It's
nice.
All gas, no brakes. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more nervous for this attack side because I feel like we've seen the sort of set executions from KC. Like, they clearly have a lot of plans towards the B side of the map. And okay, we're going to put this person out of here. And they have been. Mr. Fallen's just gone, okay, grab well, okay, snake bite. And then they're just slowed. Like, even the pincer in that round was so delayed because they regressed towards mid that the two players never made it out of main. I feel like at least baiting out a bit of that util needs to be a point of call, but it seems like they're going to go right back to
take care, Manju. Bye.
Direct hit once again.
Yeah, trying it in a different spot. Why not? This is the round to experiment. It's not the round to give the op an angle like that. A gap in the wall that's come back to find massive value for FUT. And the op keeps on going. 3 kills from 2 shots. Naves and Dosha, they came into this round to test out that A hold. I don't know what they found that they can look to exploit in the future. And well, that should seal the deal. It's only 1 though. Zeus is coming in with his classic. That's a dirty move.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that on one side of the map you've got Mr. Fallen and the Viper util, and on the other side of the map you've got Zeus. And honestly, for me, that's perfect balance. Like, you've got to either fight the most skilled player in the server, or you've got to fight the smartest. And right now, it seems like KC have an answer for neither of them. Wasn't much expectation. My worry is, I feel like we see this as a trope for a lot of teams where they go for a heavy execution on the round. It doesn't work. You go, that didn't work, and then you go back to what you were doing before. And so every buy round has just been B aggression, which is now going to be worse because there's also a Viper's pit.
Probably
Mr. Fallen's gone, well, they've got to change something up here, right?
I think the reality is, you know, that middle control was what KC needed to solve. Like, coming into this round, you think that the direct A, direct B doesn't work. The B splits haven't worked because of the mid control. It was too pacey last time. They have to try to work that control. They have to try to catch those players off. And in the round where I think they're starting to realize that, you have a pit in play. And what do you do about that? Now we have to look somewhere else. It looks like a fake will be the idea. Moving towards the B side, we've already seen the dog put through. What an opening from Sagetsu. That should fully sell it. Seekers sent in, noise being made. But the A side is still held with 2. Numbers are still here. They haven't fell for the fake.
Yeah, and he's still got 9-4 in play. Timing here is going to be everything. Prowler goes through, and that will already catch one. Viper's pit still needing to be cleared if Sagetsu is going to join the action. In fact, though, Baha is walking to the edge of it. This is a very risky position to play, and he's going to walk out. Just gives the game away. Maybe wanted to try and see if there was anybody mid, but now they go back in the other direction. That spot is clear and leaves a massive opening. Yeah, Dejay. Waiting on the edge of the smoke. Salvo's being expended. He's going to avert everything behind him, but clearly locked in on the other side of the map. Crystalli's done well, but this flank coming in so late, so little time, just trying to clear. The hold is enough. Mr. Fallen on the wrong side of the map. It looked like for a moment the stars were going to align, but a walk through the pit ended the round.
It's not a play most of the time, but here I honestly feel like less so. Mr. Fallen's in a 1 versus 3 after that shot, but time is gone. It has to be. Wide swing confirms it. Triple swung to close the round. Yeah, man, I mean, for Baha, the way these rounds have played out, Tom, there hasn't been any rounds where KC don't have that player waiting in mid. And the only example I can think of is the one where they were eco full playing A. Other than that, there's always that late lurk. It's either a direct play right at the start or very, very, very slow. And the fact that we walked through a pit against that,
I don't like it.
This gave the opportunity for them, whether they're going A or B, to rotate back in the other direction, opened up so much map control. I think that was just a tiny mistake that's come back to potentially cost them. Still, that was a small mistake in a round. That was 5-2 on the board. Still a strong lead for FUT, on the back of it. An op in play for both sides. I feel like the attack side op, it's much harder to get the value out of it here, especially with the comp they're against. It feels like a lot of the time when KC have tried to break ground, there's always a smoke on the other side. And with an op in hand, that's going to make that quite difficult.
तेरे जैसी खेली मैं.
Language.
Scout just
Okay.
अरे बाप रे, इसके एंगल में दिखा नहीं.
I'm amazed.
इसके एंगल में दिखा नहीं.
Away with so much. This position could be interesting. Yedeje doesn't have any exit strategy, but will they have expected anybody
किल मारेगा मेरे हिसाब से 2 किल
मारेगा. The problem I worry about is, does he get more
अगर
than
कोई
one?
मिट जाता तो.
And with the rest of the players now going back to the B site, even with only 2 here, Mitch, these 2 have been annoying to clear.
Yedeje. Oh, that timing. He's gotten around. This could be the flank of the century. It all depends if Doja comes out of his astral form, and he does it. Now they're wrapping up behind as Mr. Fallen tries to delay, but they've broken through. The gates of Fallen, and Levin is in. A clean spray down from him. Cristalli and Mr. Fallen on the ground, but here's Yedeje's chance. The spike drop, a double already, and he sends in the ultimate. A nail in the coffin if he can take Avaz down, but instead the plant is found, and time as low as it was, no longer a factor. It's chosen side, and it's on KC with Zeus and Oppenheim. There's no way he goes for the 1v3. He's already backing off to spawn. KC, that one was a nail biter, but they've gotten away with it.
Yeah, really nice round from Levin.
पाव भाजी के साथ 1 प्लेट आलू पकौड़ा.
Execute into the site as well, being able to leave the
तो वो मांग रहा है love is रे भाई.
I believe that was his ultimate, the convergence path that left them completely screwed because of the lack of angles that were created. With all of that utility coming out of the Teo. And well, after a blitzing start, it does seem like the tactical pause that came out from Zeiss has sort of made the difference. They've immediately found responses, they've immediately found gaps. And yeah, that's just filthy.
Yeah, really shouldn't have gotten away with that one. Gonna dive in this onto Mr. Fallen, his third. Just as ridiculous. And this is a player that we talked a lot about. As we said, last map felt like a real vindicating moment for him, where we've seen that Yoru, he hasn't looked comfortable, but we kind of
time out में हम क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे. डियर,
तेरे कंटेंट के लिए नहीं बैठी हूँ, एसी चालू है करके बैठी हूँ मैं इधर.
मेरी बात सुनो डियर. दुकान में अगर जाएगा और बोलेगा 1 किलो, फिर बोलेगा नहीं पाव किलो, लेकिन तू आधा ही पाव खाएगी, तो उसको क्या बोलेगी तू आधा पाव किलो? अगर पूरा पाव खाया,
डिसलाइक तो... मार दो इसको, डिसलाइक मार दो.
नहीं, बात है कि नहीं. एक बार शांति से एक बार थॉट्स देख के देखो. आधा पाव किलो बोलना पड़ेगा, है कि नहीं?
किलो क्यों बोलूं मैं, आधा पाव बोलूंगी ना सिर्फ.
गुजराती में तुमने किलो नहीं बोलते.
किलो किलो होए.
हाँ,
खा लो होता है वो हिंदी में.
गुजराती में सुपर से
हाँ.
Games after this, you gotta be dominant here. You gotta look clean.
उसके बारे में बेस में.
Opener at least for FUT.
आज के बाद फ्लैंक नहीं करेगा वो.
B-side's the only place there's a threat. You know, they get that A aggression, but can they?
B से आलम विलम करेगा.
Well, there's been no execute off the back of it. There's now 3 players towards the B site. Heaven controls back under the possession of FUT, and the dive out from Wayland gets nothing.
No बोला. Language.
We're a step back from.
आवाज आ रहा है bro?
Grenade is live.
Still, where do we go from here?
Salvo's being sent through. That's the kill on Tabaha. Him being caught out has been a big issue in a lot of these rounds. Levin able to clear out another, and the back of the site is gone. Nobody left to tell the tale.
एक heaven में लेकिन split चल रहा है.
Play, but also Levin.
Spike planted.
Quite an aggressive position. He's now going to be healed up.
3 heaven में लेकिन split चल रहा है.
That leaves a lot of space potentially for FUT to try and re-clear.
Well, Zeus is taking the AWP, which might look strange. Retaking with an AWP against a pit, but there it is. The ult's going to be activated. The stun's already hit. The spray through doesn't get anything. Down to a rifle he goes. 11, 30 HP, but knowing that Neon ult's online, he's not risking it. Strong connection from Zeus, but Sugetsu still stands. The pit will not fall until it's a 1v1. And now 11.
आवाज आया ना? हेलो? Oh my God!
That's attack side.
वो पोजीशन से मारा.
Back 5-4 now.
Especially with the opener,
Huh?
especially with clearing out Dosia. Like you mentioned, all of those late lurks. This basic.
पाको लोडिंग स्क्रीन में एक और क्वेश्चन है. 3v3 था, 3 बंदे हेवन में थे, लेकिन मैप स्प्लिट चल रहा है. कैसे? सोचने वाली बात है.
FUT might look back on and be a little bit upset about, but ultimately it's the one that's broken their economy and potentially leads KC to level the score.
Well, that's it, and that's 3 in a row now as well for KC. As we said, the momentum switching side, wind direction keeps
Flip
on
a coin
changing.
every
भाई
round.
क्या
That's
स्कोर
where
था?
the momentum
4-1
is.
था ना कुछ तो.
Yeah,
5-4.
building off of it seems to be impossible.
If it's tails, it's FUT. Just the opposite of heads.
कितना अच्छा खेल रहा था रे.
God, well, it is indeed a broken economy for FUT. Pistols. 11 taking a bit of a risk on that walk up with the Outlaw. But it, well, that was an unfortunate situation for Yedege. I don't know. It looked like a smoke was up and he got spammed through it.
I think that is the case.
I think smoke down अगर हो जाए बाहर है.
At least it's only happening on a pistol. See what Crystalli can do. He's up close with a stinger. In a different meta, maybe he would have had a chance. But right now,
hey, Kama did it.
ये अच्छा खेल रहा है.
It was very impressive on.
ये अच्छा खेल रहा है चैट. इस पे नजर रखना.
They've got enough utility and well, at that range, he was never going to win it.
30 seconds left.
Webbin really coming into his own on the last few rounds. A big clutch in the last, a multi-frag on an execution the round before. And this is the guy we kind of wanted to see if KC were going to make that climb back through the lower bracket.
Planted.
Man on the other side.
Heavy lurkings.
Would be Zeus, but anything in this round from this stage should be almost impossible. They're just playing for the exits.
जिसने भी लाइक ने किया याद रखो एग्जाम्स आ रहा है यार. बेस्ट ऑफ लक फॉर योर एग्जाम्स. लव यू.
When those weaknesses of
अच्छा जाएगा, टेंशन ना लो.
newly built IGL will shine through that little more on the defense, much like they did in post plants in those discipline heavy moments on the previous map. For now though, scoreline equalized and it was FUT on the last map who managed to constantly climb back but never took the lead until the final hour. It was the same old story.
1000 है रूम है.
Or did they take the lead at all actually last map?
I don't believe they did.
Actually, I think they might have been behind.
I think every
random
they lost the previous round.
Well, it's their chance to give KC a taste of their own medicine. That 7-5 half still possible, but this is what's going to decide it for FUT. Big investment, putting all their credits on the line, getting it off out as well. They haven't got the ultis, and I mentioned Aves.
भैया sorry आपको तो कभी मैं चैट में मैसेज या कुछ में कर रहा है इसलिए. अरे तो आप भी करो ना.
And this could be a very, very dangerous ulti here on Split.
Already.
Sorry बोल रहे देव भाई मेरे को.
देव
ना मान रहे.
So much utility being placed onto him, but Baha's moved in to try and play stop and try to help them out a little bit more. The flashes definitely helped him quite a lot. Maneuvering his way back out of there, the salvos haven't been able to.
एक के टाइम पे ब्लाइंड टेवल टेलोग ने सब कर डाला, लेकिन अपना एक बंदा फ्लैश हुआ और लाइन ऑफ फायर हुए.
Aves plans to go. Still should have himself a 1v1, but teammates come in and even the stun up. That's helped quite a bit. Leaving the clutch for Aves. Okay. They should have been dead to rights a long, long time ago. And eventually he will be. The swing from Baha. The 3K another high impact round. And well, for at least guaranteed level at the half.
Round in the half.
Yeah, Baha definitely coming into his own on this map. As I said last, it felt like that was Crystalli's arm. Now perhaps it's Baha's moment.
Blinded.
Hey, कैसे blind हुआ वो?
Again, is these scraps for KC. There's not a
कैसे
consistent
blind हुआ
answer
वो?
for them and how to get into sites. And I think again we can see the ideas behind this composition behind.
Hello?
The
I think
reward.
one on A.
No, I don't remember the plan to get. No, I think it's all been about that B site late mid fights. And it looks like that's the game plan to end out this half, round 12.
Especially with the ult.
Yeah, it's got to be. And actually, I'm kind of surprised to see Mr. Fallen sticking around on the B site. Yeah, he's backing off a little bit now.
Oh yeah, the
danger zone.
It definitely seems like they were slowed quite a bit though. The fact that Levin has already used our frag means he's not going to be able to get out of there. And just, well, this is what I mean. There's nowhere to stand. A retake setup put into play. Yedashe's done well. Nightfall connected onto a multitude of players and Cosmic Divide put into play to try and make things as awkward as possible. But speaking of awkward, that fight has not gone to plan. Drone on the other side. And I don't know how Crostelli hasn't been shot in the face as he dipped in to the Cosmic Divide. Never know, a wonderful shot. Zeus gone from above. They'll just wait out.
You are divided.
It's Cosmic Divide. Just a centimeter extra. Levin's now spotted the flank as well. And in fact, they're going to plant on the other side of it, but they forgot to kill Crostelli. He's able to find 2 quick kills. Well, momentum shifting in this round, and this round alone, Levin left into a 1 versus 2 scenario. It was looking good, but 13 seconds, there is no way he gets out of this one alive. Crostelli completely repositioning, just waiting, and with 5 seconds, he'll be the one to take the fight, loses it, but Baha is gone.
It's 7-5 in the end, folks. FUT, they don't relinquish the lead. We end up with KC climbing back, but still trailing at the half. FUT looking to claim their map pick. But you know what? It's time for the halftime break. Well, let's take a look at Yedashe talking about his new teammates.
I guess no. It just makes us more happier because there is 23 or 24 Turkish people in the league right now, and that's just crazy. We like it. Yeah, we have Baha and Crostelli this year. Baha is a smoker and Crostelli is a flex and also initiator. For Crostelli, I think he is the next generation of our Turkish history because he's really talented and I just believe him so much. I hope he will do better and better every year and will go to the top tier more than here, maybe World 1, because I know this guy is so crazy and so funny. And for Ba, he is really good smoker and also really good friends. We're really happy to have you here because we tried so many people and he was the one who we just want to go every international event. We also want to do some really big achievement on the EMEA this year. We want to see a final. And we just want to make our fans more happier than the last years because we know the support that they give to us and we don't just want to do any failure against them. So we just play for each other. We just play for our fans. We will try to do our best.
Hey!
Hey!
Alberto was looking for you, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you better get that quick.
Okay, I'll go check.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Tom Biz. You've had your fun.
10 सेकंड का क्या सीन है मक्स भाई? मेरा देखा बहुत बढ़िया था टोरेटो वाला मतलब.
Oh, you know what, Tom? You've had your fun, your little Kit Kat ad. Now it's my turn as we get back into the game. 7-5. FUT right now in a very, very strong position indeed. And yeah, there's that last round. We had a bit of an oopsie. Shenas comes up to plant the spike, and well, Crostelli comes through the wall. Crostelli again. This map has been Baha's highlight as well. Some really big rounds from him. But this series, it's hard to take your eyes off Crostelli. He looks so much more comfortable there than in his first few games.
Streamlabs, yeah.
But again, it's similar to the last map where we saw an early sort of blitz out of FUT. A streak back from KC, some decent rounds from Levin again. I think he's been having a good game thus far. And this is where, if anything, I expect things to get better for him. Like, if he can get that defensive side operator, get those aggressive peaks, that's where Waylay on this map really does thrive. But now, though, I'm sure they'd love a pistol to even things back up.
Yeah, even if they don't end up taking the lead, but Cristalli, oh, he's jumped in for two. But Levin wants to fight his way back into middle. No shots landing on the side of KC, and the lead for FUT extended to 3.
करेगा उसके आगे 0 डाल के माल मिलेगा टेंशन
know
ना
how important this map is going to be in general, and definitely having some struggles on their playmates over on that attack side. Anything they can get to start things off would be a huge help.
40 रुपए दिया 400 माल.
I have to see if they can keep this one nice and clean though. Again, they're one of the teams that you normally see those sort of like rifles invested into at least on a minimum, but they're so happy to play the SMGs.
$10 ना language.
It does mean these second rounds are normally quite a bit safer.
Think about it this way, man. Viper's second most played agent globally.
Side business,
VCT,
side
and
business.
Viper used to be so much stronger, not just with the toxin pools being able to be active at the same time, or you could have
you're saying they should nerf her again?
No.
No, it's a jump pick कर रहा है.
Hold on now. What I'm saying is to all of the teams who didn't play her actively when she was in a buffed state.
ये लोग को लग रहा है ना कि trap play है करके.
But I hope there's no more nerfs on the way. I feel like she's in the perfect spot, you know? Yedajay, perfect spot! As he falls back into the salvos set up by Aves. Well, that's a bit of an exaggerated way to show that the utility is solid. They've got an opening pick with classics.
माल से रुपीस होएगा?
Yeah, not a bad start
मेरा
whatsoever.
होएगा
Again,
सर.
they've completely lost the A site, and Baha is just going to get aggressive into the spawn. It is a shooting range.
सबको मार रहा है भाई.
Baha. He's going to go down to Sugetsu, but
एक और
I
गन
don't
गिरा
think he's
सकता
going
है
to
क्या
give a
लो?
damn, coming in with 4 extra orbs.
वैसे मेरा उल्ट करने वाला नहीं.
In a round where you only invested into the Marshall pretty much pays for itself, and whatever extra was kept through into this round. Not
Reverse
much
वाला
loss,
refund
9
system
to
नहीं
5,
है.
and this is where if KC are going to make a
Chat
stand on
में
this
हो?
map, it needs to be.
Chat देव भाई किसको दिख रहा है क्या chat में? Morse? मेरे को तो नहीं दिख रहा. अंधा थोड़ी हो गया. देव भाई मानने लग गए वाले. मेरे को नहीं दिख रहा है. चुपता बना है मेरे को.
That bounce back and avoid Pearl being the deciding
बिंग भाई
factor.
14 फेब
whether
को
they get to
जुगाड़
stay in
आपकी
kickoff
स्ट्रीम
or
पे
be kicked
करवा
out.
दूं.
Although
लैंग्वेज
very early on
कर
to
सकते
start
कर
this
सकते.
year off
Until
with
stage
दिख
1.
रहा है क्या दिख रहा है?
well, yeah, until stage 1.
They do come back.
As far as we know.
Morse can you see? John Cena?
Know what's up, but yeah, for FUT, looking for the double digits.
अरे उस
a
स्ट्रीम
pistol
पे
in play
देव
for Baha,
भाई.
some SMGs. Like it's a mixed bag, but this is a
Dev
round
bhai
where they
is
give
back,
themselves
Dev bhai is
opportunities.
back.
Players holding the extremities, 3 players
देव भाई
focused
मानने
around
लग
that
गए.
mid control.
कैसे मेरी जान
You
गड़
just want
गई?
to deny the util, deny the map control, deny the information.
शर्मा रहा
that
था
KC are
शर्मा रहा था
putting
चैट
out.
करना.
But one way to do that now, it would be
मैंने
to take
सीधा
down
बोला भाई.
Levin, who's tucked in that
शर्मा
corner,
मत
and
क्योंकि
Baha.
तू राव है.
Yeah, he's
शर्मा
got his
नहीं
work cut out
समझ
in
रहा.
that regard.
Had the gun for it. Mr.
20
Farn's
plate.
done well.
अभी अटक गए वो लोग.
Stunned up Sugetsu.
Bro,
Had to
Astra अगर
reposition his
निकलता
big
था
core
ना
as
वहाँ
well, and
से
he's got to be careful
free kill था.
where he moves from here. But Mr. Farn's putting utility down, stood in the open. What's going on there? IGL lost
अरे
its
बाप
shaders.
रे. Shout out.
He got 2
मेरे को
kills in the
shout out
first
मिला.
half. He got 3 kills in this round. I
वो
don't know where
ऊपर
that's
से क्यों
come
क्या हाल
from.
मिला? तुम्हें लगता है यार आ रहे चिल है.
I feel like this series has had more moments where
Normal
if I
chat
saw
कर यार.
my ranked
Chat
teammates
खुद
do
आपको
that,
याद
I'd
कर
be
रही थी पता
screaming
है?
at them, you know, than any series I've seen. And we're only a map and a half in. What was he thinking? The worst part is, his opponent was marked like a blood stain. I mean, the Haunt just saw him. You knew someone was there. And you stand
Love
in
you,
the
bye.
open. That's a very silly play from a very smart player. But, you know, a
ये
blip on the
jokes के
radar
वजह से
perhaps.
5 के lakhs नहीं language.
9-6, still have quite a lead to play with.
भाई ये राउंड हार गए ना लग गया.
Well, double digits still
Defense
evade
पे
them. The one thing they need to be careful of here, even if it's a loss, is that they make
अच्छा है
this costly for
considering
KC.
they have
But the
Theo
problem
nades
is,
for chaos.
with Eco probably coming up next, this could be KC's way back in. It's early doors yet, but FUT need to be very careful. And you can see it. Look how passive this attack sets up. We've seen them play the default where like Baha was walking up to the wall. Now you've got a player sitting outside middle, a player sitting inside main, super passive, and then a 3 stack up on A. I mean, they don't want to give away any advantages, but they very nearly did.
Yeah, I think they are just nervous playing against the Teo. Like the salvos have just caused them so much issue, even if they're on fairly passive angles, that they're just waiting to see. Again, a lot of contact spots. Levin taking contact. We saw Dosia in the same angle he was in the previous round. This time, he came out on top. The worry, though, is the time. 35 seconds, but there's not a whole lot of control over Heaven. That's been given up
30
fairly
seconds left.
freely.
30 seconds. Nade aa sakta hai.
Well, they saw the information on mid, right? There were players there. There was pressure, and the control was taken out. Now going to site, they're going to hold this together, bunkering down and looking to defend what is a difficult position. But 12 seconds on the clock. The time forces FUT forward. Sands leaving the hourglass. Alves still inside the smoke. Runs out of ammo. Because of that, they may actually get this fight. It's a 1 versus 1 for Doja. He's isolated it to a single player. Yedije tucked in on the site, but Doja has no idea. Every angle to be cleared, but the same goes the other way. Yedije has to be worried now about his opponent walking down onto the ramp, but they're moving towards each other. It's Doja who catches the timing. A 1 versus 3. KC continue the climb back, and that should put some wind in their sails. Fantastic round from Doja.
आज का दिन बहुत बुरा गया रात में वैलो खेला तो टॉक्सिक मुंबई सर्वर आए और मूड खराब कर दे मूड अच्छा करने के लिए आपकी टीम दिखा लव यू मेरे जान करते लव यू मैच भाई कभी भी ऐसा तो म्यूट कर देने का अरे बाप रे गाली भरा लव यार मैगन भाई लव यू मेरे जान करते
and they're up against a sniper.
Yedije down. I'm out of here. Zeus on his way in. Levin can't fight that surely. He's in the salvos for more. Levin lighting up the kill feed.
Casters are hyped up.
I mean, there's weaknesses in play for FUT, but he's just styled on them there in middle.
Bro,
creeping up. Great round from him in the previous, by the way. That double spray that he found into spawn was as clean as could be, but yeah, there's nothing to be done about this one. Mr. Fallen alone, and you sort of look to the next round. It's
बाकी देव भाई कैसे हो क्या चल रहा है लाइफ में यार कुछ बताओ कुछ न्यूज़ दो.
All of their ultimates online for KC. They're not that far away, but it's really the convergence path that's going to have to hold off against the assault and onslaught that's going to be coming their way.
Know where he is. There is no escape. An in-zone fall KC right after a big clutch round. All that economy goes trickling back into their pockets, and it's an immediate response.
8-9,
that was nasty.
6-7.
That's quick enough reactions. Otherwise, he was getting buckied. And then also, yeah, again, it's when it's your... that reminds me of the the first time meme. First time.
Yeah, Geis has learned. I think he's got some advice from his physician about returning to this role. So
I think during his break he went up into the mountains or with like the monks dressed up and was just and now he's just zen.
He's had his Kill Bill arc. Like he's done his training arc. He's good to go.
I've not seen him break a sweat.
Hey, are you back? Deva, are you back? इंडिया में are you back? ये करने का जरूरत नहीं है 10 बार बोला है हाँ प्लीज 10 बार बोला है ये करने का जरूरत नहीं है ऑलरेडी ना मान रहे हो रहा था अब भी बोल रहा हूं फिर से ना मान रहे हो जाएगा मैं बोल रहा हूं देव भाई थैंक यू फॉर द 1000 मेरी जान कर दे मैं इंडिया में हूं इसलिए नहीं हो रहा था और वाइफ नहीं है ना अभी साथ में तो फिर तो डबल होना चाहिए सुबह कोर्ट दोपहर को काम शाम को चेंबर रात को पड़ोसी की शादी अभी मौज मस्ती मुझे नहीं समझा दे भाई जाएंगे 1000 मेरी जान कर दे must
for Yetijay to be that close.
बहुत crazy मारा.
Now the Cosmic Divide should get them through to the site. Snake Bite's there to delay them. And in fact, the ult sent in by Levin, but he's hit by the hinder as Segetsu falls. Who can pull them out of this deficit? And it seems to be nobody. A pit online if needed. And Aves, hold on, that pit might actually give him a chance. Well, never mind.
10-8.
Really good pre-spam coming out from Zeus. He had an idea that somebody might try and make that play. Vishados, it just has to be a save, right? You're not going to attempt a 1v4 with your economy. But in a bit of a shaky spot, Levin were wanting a purchase into the next round, so wouldn't really be worth doing anything too aggro. But the thing is, again, you look at that from KC and you could see the ideas. Like I will say, I'm not a huge fan of Dosia playing the same angle. Like I think that's either 3 or 4 times in a row. First time he lost the battle versus Mr. Fallen. Next time it's the exact same angle. He won the battle. This time, Yetijay basically pre-fires the angle because you know he's going to be there. And like I get it, you want contact, then you pull out your util, but if you're even slightly it's a free kill onto the opener, and everything else then from KC is reactive. We have to use this piece of util, and that's where FUT can just go. We have the advantage. We can just be a bit patient. We don't have to be over aggro. We can kind of just
पहले ये मर गया ना कि वेले ने सब कुछ किया वो जाके मारा भी लेकिन यहाँ पे स्मोक रहता ना तो कुछ एक अलग होता था हिंदुस्तान है
and a timeout has been called. It's KC to take a moment. I thought that could be the turning point there. Aves up close if they were to get back into it, but they were watching every little angle. No mistakes allowed on the side of FUT as they find a combo breaker. That was 3 in a row from KC.
सफारी के वाईटी ओपन करके यूपीआई करके करना पड़ रहा है सुपरचैट अरे सुपरचैट मत करो नॉर्मल सेटिंग करो रे भाई बाकी लाइफ पूरा कैसे सब चिल ला
That advantage they worked so hard for.
दिखा था अल्ट के पहले मेरे को दिखा था यार तुम लोग को दिखा कि नहीं मेरे को नहीं मालूम ना मेरे को
late stage. They also come into this round with
reaction time fast है मेरे को दिख जाता है
putting their credits into it on KC. Still a little bit more to bounce back.
हार्बर का न्यू बफ देखा मैंने देखा फिर भी यूज नहीं होने वाला है वो
convergence path on the attack side.
शायद
we talked about how important the Teho ultimate can be, how annoying it can be. But we've seen on both sides the potential impact.
चैट में पूछ रहे हैं खुशखबरी कब आएगी
पता नहीं भाई especially like we've already witnessed how
मेरा सुपरचैट का गायब हो गया नो आईडिया वो रिफंड आ जाता
है it just creates so few positions to stand in but yeah it does look like
रात को
potential early middle control
ult here and then straight in with the neon
घर का पता नहीं भाई
it's a more normal round
no idea
I think conventionally you're going to see Sugetsu play on that left side anyway though. So it's like if he spams you, you're just going to be tilted. Like it's going to be a pure tilt through the orb. Well, there you go, almost. The catch doesn't quite get control of Aves. In fact,
oh my god.
It could catch everybody. It doesn't quite work though. I think it missed one player and that was enough for Yetijay to capitalize. He's taken a lot of space. He has the spike,
I think missed
and he's
both
completely
players,
alone. Sure, his teammate of Baja's not too far behind, but he doesn't know what's clear. He knows that there were 2 players around the vent, so you can have an educated guess. But Levin at the backside is someone they desperately need to get rid of before they can go A. And now they seem to just be waiting for Mr. Fallen to get into position.
Look at where Sugetsu and Doja have gone. They think it's a B hit. Standing completely alone, lonely as a cloud. Levin has got to take down so many players, but they haven't spotted him yet. Clearing him, not in time though. And his dash out gets him to safety, if you want to call it that. He's got an idea, the right idea. Ships in the night though. Yetijay clears his back. 2v2, but this post
plant. और वो लोग अभी तक B-main पे क्यों है?
On the side of FUT.
Hello?
Cosmic divide for Doja.
Yeah, also the defenders didn't move because he'd only seen that one player. So they were thinking this was maybe a ruse, like this was a fake to try and
bait them into a rotation off B. So the other two are only just making their way into heaven. And think about that. Think about how long FUT will have had. FUT, though, also don't realize. They think they're right on them. They think they're just around the corner, but they're only just making their way into the site. It's kind of a battling two different paths. And well, Yetege is the one that ends up closing it. And a bit of a quieter game individually, but this round was massive for FUT.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this replay because that stun goes down. Zeus isn't caught up close, but Yetege was and still manages to get the weapon out. He thought about putting the convergence path down, but didn't have time. And thank God, sets it up for this. He ends up with another kill, turning his back in the player, but spinning just in time, and then catches the double walkthrough. There's a reason. He's on his feet. He's banging his chest. He's just single-handedly put foot. Potentially on map 3 that was a massive round for them, and a lot of chances now to close this out.
Elimination match, map 3.
Viper screens crossing paths. Tiger will go through first. They had the salvos ready and raring to go, but the problem they have is you might be able to force a guy out of an angle, but if the screens go up, countering it's going to be difficult. That's already Yetege here.
Love you, King. Bye.
Seekers, the 3 players towards the A side are about to be detected, but all this tells him is that Heaven's been taken over. KC don't know about Mr. Fallen, and he's getting himself embedded into a nasty little angle. Good potential for him to find a pick, and Baha's doing just the same. Smoke, though. There's 2 sides to it. He can't watch them both. The timing will be everything. Shanos does walk through it. The FUT seemingly with no idea of where they want to take it just yet. 30 seconds on the clock. Mr. Fallen now wraps around. He's going to the backside of B. They're going to try to play this wrap. Actually, this might work perfectly, especially if noise is made from mid. If those players give it away, Mr. Fallen should be able to stab them in the back. A beautiful lurk, not so beautiful of a spray, but with 12 seconds left, he might just have done enough. That reveal is perfect.
Yeah, that's all they needed.
We've
had some criticism of the Crystali haunt so far, but
map 1 they sucked on. Map 1 he didn't know what he was doing.
That was definitely a good one, an important one with the judge on the other side. And
12 नहीं 13 खत्म वो लोग पैसे नहीं है वो लोग सेव करेंगे 3 गन्स है वाइपर अल्ट है लेकिन कुछ कर नहीं पाएंगे.
Mr. Fallen tag low though. He's got to be a little bit careful here, but Baha, another backstab, a second layer could be so problematic, and Crystali's done well just to slow them further. Shados needs to find everybody, and he's surrounded. 12 to 8.
13-8 bolte.
Streak, and well, KC need 4 in a row if we're going to overtime again.
Yeah, this is what I was expecting out of FUT when it comes to the attack side, being able to find those gaps. And the reality is for KC, they've got a new IGL. And we've heard even recently from Angel about Xiao in a similar position, how much there is to learn. The difference is for Xiao, he's fitting into a game plan, a game identity that they already have. When you come to this matchup, it's not quite the same. And on the defense, that's where teams are able to make those gaps. They're able to push you out of your comfort zone. And right here we see one of those gaps. The IGL on the other side. Masterful mid-rounding from Mr. Fallen.
Easy peasy वाला नहीं हो रहा है.
It has made this purchase a little bit awkward. I saw Dosia
draw क्यों होएगा? अरे मतलब 1-1 ना 1-1 दोनों अपना मैपिंग करना. 1-1 वैसा draw बोल रहे हो.
He was still in Kazakhstan and was playing with 80 to 100 ping, so that made a little bit more sense.
Enough.
Him playing it right now has made less sense, but it seems like he's given that over. So get to in the pit.
Draw कैसे होएगा? अरे 1-1 दोनों एक-एक मैप जीते हैं.
Levered immediately.
तो draw हुआ ना.
तो
उसके बाद best of 1 ना. Basically map 3 जो जीता वो जीता. वैसा वो पूछ रहा है.
I came in today thinking like, okay, everyone here but Crystali and Baha.
Match draw कैसे? अरे मैं ही can't do it रे बाबा तो समझा रहा हूँ.
Still critical.
All they needed was a Mitch curse.
He's really shown up. Genuinely, yeah. Now he's going to be taken down second. I praise him by Shados, who's really at a struggler of the game.
Oh, here we go. Shados ace.
Well, they're playing retake.
Into the side they go. Pop flash.
They have Theo ult.
But bear in mind, there's still quite a lot of utility to expend. Mainly
looking at the salvos
they have
and
heaven
looking at the
control.
annihilation, but it's not actually going
Rams
to go
control.
through. They're waiting to play the retake instead, not
तुम
going
लोग
for
करो
plant
control.
denial, which has bit them a
+1
little bit in the
language.
past. They are taking their time. Only just getting into position now. The clock has been burning.
Yeah. Armageddon Day is coming. Here it is. It's backside, but it's already been cleared.
Oh my god.
Ready for that play.
Like a sexy killer, babe.
Double proves it.
Oh.
A fantastic showing from
How's
the
this
rookies
but
on
draw
the side of
kaise?
FUT. They have claimed their map pick
श्रीवास्तव
and bought
भाई
themselves
बराबर
one
कहते थे तुम्हारे
final
बारे
map.
में
For one of
बराबर
these teams, it's the end of
बराबर बोलता था
Kickoff
श्रीवास्तव
on
तेरे
Pearl
बारे में
after the break.
फक बे जो जीता वो जीता जो हारा वो घर पे भी अभी हाँ हम लोग क्या हम तो ऑलरेडी घर पे हैशटैग ओपी आप अपनी टीम ले जाओ ले जाके इनको गोट कैसे खेलते हैं दिखा दो पांडे भाई कुछ ऐसा स्पेशल कुछ आज पार्टी वार्टी कर रहे हो आप हाँ पांडे भाई कुछ ऐसा जूस है जो मुझे नहीं मालूम बिग भाई एक हेल्प चाहिए मैं 23 का हूँ आईटी में जॉब करता हूँ आई वॉन्ट टू स्टार्ट माई ओन थिंग एंड फैमिली को कैसे समझाओ बिकॉज वो बोलते हैं जॉब करो बट मैं जॉब में खुश नहीं हूं वाह भाई तुम खुश नहीं हो ये तेरा फैमिली समझे हाँ और फैमिली कोई चीज से खुश नहीं है वो तू नहीं समझेगा हाँ मेरे को क्या करना है मेरे को क्या करना है मेरे को क्या करना है जब तेरे भी बच्चे होंगे ना और वो लोग बोलेंगे पापा प्लीज फक ऑफ मैं जाऊंगा ओनली तब मैं देखूंगा इधर ही रहूंगा मैं स्ट्रीम कर रहा रहूंगा इधर ही बाय द वे जॉब करते करते पैसा सेव करके बाद में एक बार एकदम हैवी हो गया तो बिजनेस साइड बिजनेस सब चालू करके एक बार वो सक्सेसफुल हो गया तो वैसा माना सकता है ये ऑल्टरनेटिव है लेकिन तब तक गाली खा नाचो मेरा हर बार कच्चा छाती का कैसे आता है चले गया
FUT managed to equalize the score and push us all the way to the decider. Welcome back, everybody, to VCT EMEA Kickoff. 1-1 so far for both of these teams, both winning their respective map picks. This one was a lot cleaner from FUT than what we've seen earlier.
Yeah, it was, and I think like for the most part, like it actually convinced me that, you know what, FUT can have the firepower that they need, and the supporting cast that we were talking about earlier, like 4 of those players other than Zeus being in the bottom 12 ACS, looked like they were shooting.
Yeah, I think Crossley was very good in map 1, and he continued that on into map 2. Like, I think he was the highlight of this map for me, and I think that it's like a really nice sign. Like, I've been a little bit maybe pessimistic, a little bit negative about what I consider like what I consider maybe like a version of FUT that maybe seems a little bit weaker than historically. But honestly, if this is just a slow ramping up for these new VCT players, then they could be good signs in the future.
Do you think this is potentially a slower ramping up? Like, are they getting closer to what you were hoping them to be to?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing better. I think that reality-wise, they're in the lower bracket playing in the first round. So I think that there has to be some measured expectations.
Fair.
But ultimately, I'm seeing signs of life, which is good.
Yeah, that's what we ultimately want to see from FUT. And Crisali also coming through with 210 ACS, Cairo. Bit of a big man job there.
Yeah, he's doing well, you know, playing on the Fade as well. It's not a bad thing to have a high ACS, especially when you've got Zeus and when you've got Yetiji, who on the Whaley, I know Mini, you were criticising it, but for overall, I think it gets pass marks for this map.
Yeah. Actually, I think as well, when something you wants to highlight specifically was the setup that FUT was able to get.
Yeah, so what I was really impressed with in this game is essentially the way that FUT came into this with the game plan. Because Zeus is now using the operator more, it allows them to explore deeper game plans. So here FUT is on the defense, and we're going to mostly be looking at the Neon and the Fade towards the A side of the map. So you're going to see at the start here, the Neon is waiting here for a potential waylay dash with the operator. So if we play this out, he's just going to be waiting. And then what ends up happening is Crossley on the Fade is going to set up the Neon into a deeper position here. So you see this, the Fade Prowler coming in to set up Zeus onto a deeper angle. And eventually he's going to go down even further. And this is really important because KC are using this Viper wall here. And that means that the Neon can get in front of it and take a deeper line, get all the information, and then FUT can rotate the other side of the map very easily. And this was happening every single round. Every single round, Zeus had the operator. Every single round, Fade Prowler was coming in and he was getting deep information. Basically a very good game plan and anti-strat against this Viper wall. So we see here Zeus sets up. He's got the deep line. We see the rotations happening here. And at this point, you know, KC are setting up now for a B here. And FUT already have 3 players here looking directly at this choke point. So what looks like a very easy way of like FUT shutting down this exec has that thought behind it. They're not just randomly looking there and able to shut it down. It's because of that deep setup from Crossley onto the Neon that allows them to easily shut this down. So yeah, so I was really impressed here just by FUT's game plan and approach. And Zeus ulping isn't just about getting frags, it's also a new layer to their game plan.
Yeah, and that's what we need to see, and we also want to see from every single one of these rosters. Even though you're in this lower bracket, this is, as we already touched upon, your opportunity to show us what you are made of. And for FUT, 13 and 8, it was a great game from their side of things. But now we're going on to Pearl. And Pearl is what I find really interesting, Cairo, because when we're looking at KC in the past 2 weeks, that's the map that they would immediately ban when they had the chance. But now it's left open. And they're saying, yeah, we had to leave it open because if we're not good at it, then, you know, like our map has to get better. Then what are we doing?
Yeah, I guess I somewhat agree, right?
Hey guys, Professor repeating on stream. Kaisa Professor?
But is it the best idea to try and expand it, as Mini said, in the elimination game in round 1 of Kickoff, right? Maybe KC as a team have decided that they want to try and use Kickoff as a way to kind of bond and mend the team together, but I don't know if I'm fully buying into that just to be honest, considering that like you look at how this team's built, it has firepower, it has players that should be ready like Levin who have experience in VCT. I think if anything, I would maybe allow that excuse for FUT in terms of the fact that they have rookies on their team.
I think to me it's like a little bit worrying that you go from perma-banning a map to suddenly introducing it into a series. It kind of means that you don't have too much confidence in your map pool, but at the same time they could be a positive to some respect because you're basically adjusting to what the reality of the situation is. Like Karma Core aren't in that good a spot, so adjusting their map pool accordingly might be a good answer.
Yeah, you definitely hope so. Or maybe they were like perma-banning it on purpose so that teams would pick it and then they have something crazy up their sleeves. But the matter of fact is the reality of the current situation that we are going to Pearl. We are going to this decider map. This is the last map for one of these teams here at Kickoff, which is crazy. One of these teams are going to be the first one to be sent home.
Yeah, and I think like for both of these teams, there's things that we can draw on from the series that we've seen so far, right? And both the maps played. For FUT, we can talk about just his op and the ability to op on Peril and how he's going to leverage that. And the other aspect of that, something that we know about KC and Aves, is they love this Phoenix, and it's a map that
KC में कौन अच्छा खेलता है?
all the way back when kind of Peril was
बहुत सही के इंसान.
23, I saw like a few.
नहीं मैं यहाँ पे 2 घंटे से दांडिया देख रहा हूँ.
Will they bring that
KC
out?
में कौन अच्छा
You
खेलता
can
है?
draw on that and see how the game plan will work for either team.
What do you think they're going to play? What comps do you think are going to happen here?
Well,
what do you want to see?
What do I want to see? Like, obviously, I want to see the Euro like, on either side, like with an operator behind
college
it.
No,
I think Euro's so much better on this map. Like, and it's so in meta, but I don't know. It truly depends on comfortability.
रुक जाओ भाई, रुक जाओ. VCT वालों रुक जाओ. Heavy message आया है. Decode नहीं कर पा रहा है Brinsels. कल कॉलेज बाद बंक्स भाई कल एग्जाम था एक. कल कॉलेज कल एग्जाम था, ऐसा कुछ डीप कुछ तो हुआ है उसके साथ. कल कॉलेज बंद बंक्स बाय, कल एग्जाम था. अच्छा बंद बंद. ओ ये तो मैं सोचा ही नहीं. बंद. कल कॉलेज बंद है लेकिन कल एग्जाम था. वैसा वैसा समझा समझा समझा. तो मतलब सीधा ऐसा बोल सकता है कि एग्जाम पोस्टपोन हो गया. वैसा सिंपल है.
I'm not the biggest Phoenix fan though, and we're not going to see it.
Thankfully, you're not going to see it, so you don't have to worry
we
about that.
We are going to see the Teo, and it's coming out from KC's side rather than FUT, so interesting here. I really like this.
ये valorant is
I think that having the ability to have drones on this map with the fade and the Teo means that you're able to take a lot of the map that otherwise you wouldn't.
I also want to highlight the chamber because we have been talking time and time again about wanting to see the chamber. Is this the right composition and the right moment to put it?
Yeah, I really like it actually because obviously they've been trying to get Yetege into positions where he's playing like the second duelist, but he's playing I guess a little bit more comfortable in a sentinel that is still like can be that pseudo duelist.
I mean, I didn't even notice it, but Teo fade on both sides. I think this is a very strong approach. The chamber for me is he going to be able to avoid the amount of drones
Valentine वाले वीडियो में इतनी अच्छी एक्टिंग कैसे?
Those are questions that are going to be answered in this final map.
Thank you yaar Kshitij bhai. Thank you so much for the 40. I am waiting for some Bollywood movies right now. As a main hero. समझ रहे हो? मेरे दोस्त ने 3 हीरोइन रखा था 5. Simple demands. दिल मांगे lot more.
These competitors, nobody wants to be the first one kicked out of Kickoff, but it has to be KC or FUT, and it all comes down to Pearl.
तो उसके immortal के लिए कितना elo चाहिए? तो उसकी जी आप immortal हो?
Waiting to see both of these squads play in the past. Historically, I always enjoyed a Mr. Fallen Pearl, but he put himself on the tail in the past, and I'm looking forward to see what Crystalli has in it because he's been very, very good today. And while seeing Yetege, he's sort of on a sentinel.
Tree का fruit चाहिए कह रहे?
All the way up though, a very quick rotation available.
Oh, मारो spam मारो.
The spam does damage, but eventually they have to duck out of there and then back in they go. 11 with 1, needs more.
Shot bay.
And then just looks to try and escape. Doesn't want to overheat.
भाई कितना प्यारा मारा बे.
Play the advantage.
Really nicely played by 11. A chance for KC. He may well be. KC's beating hard, but Yetege,
in that corner, snuck in just in time. Does he get curious? No, waiting his turn, but Aves swings in and turns him to mush. It's only Mr. Fallen, and he'll find the same fadeaway. 11 with a 4K in the pistol has given KC
4K mara be.
Yeah, well, we spoke about in their last map when it was Breeze facing up against Liquid, the amount of 3v5s they're able to win. They've just added another to the tally, and a lot of it came down to this mount. Right here at the back of the site.
Hero ka role milta hai. Sachi?
Early, took some early spam damage, and then from pretty much the rest of the round, he was just ripping heads. 1-0. An important pistol.
दूसरा headshot
There you go. Last bar match was a 14-12 victory
for both. Hey, that's beautiful.
Valo watch party करते time game का नाम नहीं ले सकते Binks? ले सकते मैंने लेता because I love Valorant.
It's up against the same squads they faced previously. As well, these orgs have a lot of history, but of course for KC, entirely different rosters throughout the years.
Don't miss me too much.
Well, last year's coaching staff certainly looking to level the field. That's an easy pickup onto Zeus to start it. All these pistols, classics across the board for FUT. They're not getting anything done. That's kind of what you expect.
to get to just running it down.
Director Aditya
An in-zone flawless for KC.
धार ढूंढ रहा है. थार होता है बेवदल्ले.
A lot of weaponry to take through into the next round. Maybe even a chance for Dosia to add a rifle into the mix if he so chooses. No, he's bought Bucky. Dosia sticks with that.
Roll के लिए.
But this has been the case for both squads, especially coming into the buys. There's not been a whole lot of rifles, there's not been a whole lot of bonuses played in sort of like the 3-rifle, 2-pistol way so that you can do more in these sort of rounds. And yet there's always been moments when you felt like it was possible. We'll have to see if Dosia has any Mr. Farlin magic with a Bucky on this map. Instead though, they've gone pushing up early for AWP control.
Join any or as analyst
from Doji,
then
you
coach.
can see how annoying it is. A main completely under his control. Even just with a bookie in his hands, and well, a team like FUT knows just how dangerous the bookie can be on this map.
Suppressed.
Mr. Fallen certainly does. My arm still hurts from
एक
that
चीज
play.
है. FUT space तो ले रहा है.
Three, very slow approach from the
अगर वो लोग का
attackers.
read गलत होगा.
The Shados has found out. He's going to give up control over Art. His FUT slowly claim that. Look at the shift from KC. Very much expecting the A hit. With a gate crash towards B, they can make that little bit of a gamble. I'm not sure if FUT are going to commit though. Look how far behind Yedije is. They might take this back if they spot how many players are here.
A lot of utility thrown out, but Zeus made it past. There is the Bucky. 4 more needed. And he didn't get it. Spams away, not doing as much damage as they'd hope, and the juggling rifles haven't worked out. It leaves just Sugetsu.
planted.
1 versus 3.
मैं Astra पे Astra अगर वहाँ पे नहीं मारता था ना दूसरे Astra को अरे damage भी अच्छा दिया
for KC, but for FUT, more important that they're onto the board, off of the races.
दिमागी संतुलन
Wow, we wait and see if they're going to be
चुका है
starting off the
अंका language.
Is there something to follow up on the back of it?
You are being ungrateful for opportunity. अच्छा role है.
Since we've seen it for these teams.
Let's go!
And the way that the game has gone so far, I don't think anybody will be brave enough to pull out predictions. I certainly won't be foolish enough.
उस नाम का character
So I guess it does just come down to compositions, and I suppose that's where the question sits.
मेरे को डर सरने में वो भी मालूम है और दूसरी बात मैंने मूवी भी देखा है. तीसरी बात thank you for the 100 यार मेरी जान करते हैं. Love you यार.
I'd expect more on the defense. Like I think we're going to have that aggressive chamber, lots of delay, lots of info getting for that defensive side to take map control. And I think the attack is all going to be about breaking through that. A lot of pressure put onto both Levin and Zeus. But also once you get that defensive side operating, it's a lot smaller. Favoring one, very difficult, but For now, at least early spat. Dosia has managed to dodge all of those bullets, or most of them at least.
While hindered. Yeah, they might have thought he was gone, but they certainly know now. Shados, he's tripled up, and one was a spray through the smoke. Go for another. A few shots through. Now he's waiting with Dosia, and while he gets his reward in the end, quite the ace for the rounds around. And a 4K for Shados speaks volumes. KC 3-1. No chained rounds for FUT.
I think we're seeing it again with just the irritation that can be caused by that Teo utility on the defensive side, just slowing the initial push enough, like especially when you have that sort of solo duelist, you want to almost, like, explode in towards the site, but they're never really able to because one of them is then sectioned off. Of course, Shados being able to shut things down, but realistically, I am looking at Yedajay here because I know that as a lurker, we can see high impact from him, but with what is basically just firepower as your utility, I need you to be getting numbers up on the board.
Unmod की धमकी किसे दे रहा है?
After going 3-1 down,
कर दो Unmod.
Pistols. The next buy round really with
तो
line
पहले
in the
member
sand
बन
has
के
to be
दिखा.
drawn. Remember, we start this series out, you think about whose map pick it is, the future maps, and all
एक
this.
डायलॉग भी बोल दो
बंग
भाई मूवी डायरेक्टर को भेजूंगा इससे आपको इजीली रिजेक्ट कर पाए.
Do or die. It's elimination time, and for FUT, every round that goes up in favor of KC. Just another straw on that camel's back, and we don't know how far it can go. Don't know how much weight they can take, how much pressure they can stand tall under for FUT. Trailing by 4-1 seems inevitable, but they have got a lot of space towards the A side. There's not a massive stack up.
But say
with a headhunter and a sheriff, they can get some damage done. Already ground being taken, and Shados, does he stick around with Abez, or do they give it up? They're looking for the fight, and they're finding them with great success.
A lot of damage done on the initial sprays. C's also slowing them further. It makes it so difficult to break through these A-side chokes, but when you've been running it over to B,
4-1 अभी राउंड निकालना चालू करना पड़ेगा. अभी राउंड निकालना चालू करना पड़ेगा.
Choke's going to be difficult. I think the main thing I want to see now is how they put pressure on some of that mid control in the other direction. Like, do they take lane? Do they sort of make that B site a little bit more awkward? Because I feel like so far KC have been able to have minimum 2, but in most cases 3 players on A, because there just is no pressure on being on that link position.
And this is one of the things we talked about for FUT on the attack side. The experience there in terms of those calls, you expect that to be where they find those gaps. Right now, no gaps being found. KC plugged it up like they've got too many planks and sea thieves, and with another round lost here for FUT, they'll be almost forced into a pause. But for now, confident that they can find their way back in. We saw Mr. Fallen quick to dispense some words after the last full buy round loss. Enishay's made it across with the op. He doesn't know there's a player tucked in on the left, and here come the salvos. He's just about
दो बंदे भी पे. भाई कितना अच्छा शॉट मारा बे उसने, लेकिन उसने बहुत कुछ किया बे यहाँ पे.
The trap.
Teo का इतना यूटिलिटी वे उसको लोग क्या 2 दिन का स्पॉट किया.
Not someone close. Again though, they're falling into the same trope. Back to the A site they go for the umpteenth time in a row. Nightfall sent through. I like the Cosmic Divide off the back of it, but the counter utility is already being thrown out. Drone to go in. Of course, spam's not possible unless they go on the other side, and there's been continuous utility put into place to make sure they can't make a move. This will be the first time we actually have to see a full-on retake out from KC.
They've got that flank protection from Baha miles away, but still when it starts to play, the flash doesn't quite land as intended. Zeus marked in the corner, gets one. Oh, he's managed to get the ult off. That's a disgrace for KC. It should have been a shutdown. That was their way back in. A trade at least, but so much time. Boy, they've got to run. They've got to sprint. And all through, and all of a sudden, Baha's alone. How has this happened? They're blocking it. The defuse still away.
My God!
But they did not falter.
Oh my God!
Ridiculous round, and honestly, if there's not a timeout after that, we won't see one all game. What a chaotic round.
They used everything. Nightfall, Cosmic Divide to take the site convergence path to slow them down. Even throwing in the Teo ult at the end, and they just kept past all of it. This final shot as well had to be lightning fast.
वो शॉट मिस करता था गया था.
They were fighting against every ultimate that was possibly on offer for FUT. And even when they used all four of them,
उसमें block भी किया, half भी किया.
It was a 4 versus 3.
Fuck.
I genuinely blinked, and there were 3 things in the top right on the kill feed. It was a 1v4 in a split second. That's ridiculous. And they haven't called a timeout. FUT, hey, they're happy to go. I get it on the first buy. You say, you know, I noticed the problems. Here's how we fix it. Let's move on. That last round, though, I almost want a timeout just to breathe. And now the drone didn't spot Doja. He's just walked right past it. And it's a low buy round for FUT, so it's whatever. But the little mistakes that are going to add up. Surely
language.
They're also just going to irritate. Like, these are things where you go like, well, I don't know how this has happened. Like, I don't know how I've died here. And that frustration is definitely going to start building, because the last round is the sort of round where you go, that's unlosable. Like, you can't use 2 ults to take the site and 2 ults in post and still lose. And still lose convincingly. 5.5 seconds and 3 players standing.
10 बार वो लोग smoke में कह रहा, 10 बार
aim in. And KC almost have to be laughing. We'll see. Can there be some damage for Yanager? Yes, they can. Sugetsu not expecting it in the corner.
Hey, ये तो minimal हो गया अभी.
Shouldn't be winning, but now with a tour de force, that one remaining ult.
Gun भी है.
2 players up against. Look at the guns. It's an operator and a judge. That's chalk and cheese on the retake.
FUT have the advantage, but Yediche stepping into the angle.
Oh!
And now Doja alone, a pistol and a judge, a tour de force on the other side. I don't know how
mood को भी सुधार करना पड़ रही है, but message पढ़वाने के लिए कल आ गया language.
Easy shot from Mr. Fallen confirms it.
भाई लोग क्या round जीते भाई?
At 5-2, and you give Yediche an inch there, just that small gap that they left. He filled it in right away. Gorgeous shots.
Yeah, that's why you put Yediche on chamber, like, because the raw skill is undeniable.
भाई 6-1 होता था भाई, ult से इतना.
From an unlosable round to an unwinnable round, flip the script.
4 बजे हॉस्पिटल के बाद क्या से इसके बाद डिनर करूंगा और फिर रात को आऊंगा.
We're moving on. Still a buy up for KC. Yediche now has that operator in hand once again.
By 6-1 था भाई.
You kind of sit there and go, is that just a flash in the pan? I think, I'm assuming Levin thought that was going to be shot for him.
I would guess so, yeah.
All right, there's a Prowler coming, and it's gone, and it's gone, and I guess I'm gone.
AFK करके भी जाने वाला.
Zeus has already put so much pressure on Avis, he can't get out. He can't get away. They managed to make that little crunch and now change direction. Avoids the B site. Gate crash is in position. Levin can rotate very easily. There will be 3 players on B as those steps are heard. Here comes Levin any second now. And he's now here. Lockdown in play, buys more time. 15 seconds on the clock. Doja in the corner, landing a double. Another to the tally. He's in a different dimension. And yet still, he's not dropped. Finally put in his place, but buried alongside him is Yediche, and with Baha 1v3, Spike down in the open. Only 2 players on the site.
Got a 1v1.
Yeah,
if he checks it.
Can pull these angles into individual fights at least. And he has been very reliable, but it's not to be this time. Course correction from KC, right back to winning ways.
Yeah, Dosia
just again,
dancing within the madness. Aves again, that's got to be an annoying one. Just being caught. Well, nobody checking that back. You see the ult go down, you go, oh, retake setup. Okay, they're all outside the site. They've got 4 players. Maybe they gambled the other way.
Language.
Probably questioning how nobody checked that back angle.
It's
finally time for a pause. I feel like it's been coming, but that Yediche sort of like huge round from him, maybe, well, put a pause on the pause. Guy still looks chill though.
इसमें क्या लैंग्वेज आज पहले हुआ वैलो इसलिए बोला मतलब
time to get back to the drawing board because this has been 2 rounds of madness for them, whereas their opponents, I think,
रात को किसका मैच है अभी इसके बाद सीधा कल
those reliable wins on the board, keep that lead building.
हाँ अपने दोस्त ने नहीं है
Final hurdle like this for FUT after the bounce back on split, really solid showing from them, from the rookies as well. This is no time to take your foot off the gas.
The funny thing is, obviously, the meta
बिना मतलब कि
shifted
चैट
so
पढ़
that
ले
you're running more double controller,
बिना
a lot
मतलब
less
कि
sentinel play.
चैट्स
And
पहले
don't
पढ़ता
get
ही
me
है
wrong, like I think Sugetsu's still been putting up numbers on the controller. The thing that is upsetting,
उसके बाद वैलो
similar
करोगे
to a
यार
couple of
रात को
players,
आर्क
like I think we saw Benji have some decent performances as well. You put them back on Senti, and Sugetsu's just like, breath of fresh air,
भाई
10
मेरा
and 4, top of the server.
मेरा जो बुंड
He's just been having a
ऐसा था
great
ना
time,
ऐसा
and
ऐसा
I
बुंड
don't
जो
know,
मेरा था ना
it
अभी
is sort of
ऐसा
the
हो
meta
गया
versus comfort, but
पता है
I wonder if
मजाक से
they
हट
might
कर
look to put him on a little bit more Senti.
कितना 15 दिन से तो कर रहा हूँ ना वॉच पार्टी 20 दिन
FUT, they're geared up to challenge Sugetsu, and after salvo, a lot of bodies coming around that corner. Only good for the one.
एक स्टार भी रहता था ना इधर और उसके कांटेक्ट में स्टन देता था ओ होए होए होए
potentially recover the weapon. Trades are all that you want on this attack side, at least in those initial fights. Now, they're a thorn in the side. All of this mid control, down towards water, even their own spawn. Like, take a look at this position that has to be watched. Shadows has to come back to clear this so they can't come in through the spawn. Basically, anywhere that they go now is a 1vx fight.
Yeah, 11 as well. I wonder how much time he's got left on his TP. The answer, it is gone. Yeah, he has to go somewhere. The angle he was in was only good if you have the gate crash. He has to reposition, and that's a decent reposition, but he's then caught. That's an operator down on the ground. The cross being held by Shadow, so he's not able to connect the shot. Push coming in as well on the other side. Zeus, I'm not sure how much of a fake that was being sold. He just tried to catch rotators.
भाई क्या util dump कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे पे?
Man standing, and Shadows will get the job done in the end. 7 and 2, half
utils
guaranteed.
भाई.
Said, I expected stronger defensive halves, but I do think this is getting a little bit too far.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it continues in this way, the gap's going to be a little bit too big for most teams to even think about coming back into. And the reality is for KC, they're not showing any signs of slowing down. There's smiles in the coaching booth.
Hey! Hey!
I don't know what he said, but neither do they.
भाई मजा तो कर रहा है डॉस्टाइन
KC are in general contrast that face that Ang's making to the one earlier on, albeit it might have been his ears being blasted by sound, but
क्या लगता है बग्स भाई 2-1 होगा या 1-2
the vibe looking great out of that coaching booth for KC. 11 gate crash, not even halfway gone. He'll stick around here for quite a while, and I think FUT are going to give him a challenge, but he has to get out.
Oh, it was
close था actually close था आ गया मच्छर spawn हो गया दल्ला
It's a good start from
मच्छर
Zeus.
spawn हो गया chat
Desperately in need of attack side rounds. Oh, Yetajay, other than that singular round, I haven't really seen much impact from this chamber. Playing the other side of the map, looking for space, but
भाई same A split
like he's
भाई
been isolated.
same
I like
A
the
split
idea
वो
from
लोग कर
FUT,
रहे हैं
though. Like, you get that early fight, then you just sit patiently, wait for your opponents to go hunting for information, wait for them to use all of that utility. Timing here, not the best, but because he stayed in the corner, that could actually create more of a problem for Levin. Does he now go back in the other direction? Now, does he have the expectation? No, he's caught out Baha. He's leveled things up once again. And in fact, the attack side with 30 seconds left, they're going to try and move the other way. But there are still 2 defenders here.
That's the thing. After you find the first, how many more will you expect? Cosmic Divide goes in.
Oh,
Down, and now they have no idea. But Sugetsu, he strikes a little too early. They know that he's here. Mr. Fallen cleanly connects. The headshot puts them ahead by 2. And with a plant, Yetajay didn't need to swing. Now, perhaps a chance. Everybody in individual fights, but they'll look to swing together as they do. Levin finds another, but he's all alone. Oh, it's getting dicey. It's getting close, and he'll find himself a rifle. 14 shots still in the mag as he wraps around with their setup to swing this together, and he has no chance when they do.
A third found for FUT.
अगर किलजॉय खुद को नहीं दिखाता तो शायद पॉसिबल था ना.
It's not too far gone just yet.
हाँ?
Yeah, again, I feel like the actual setup from KC wasn't a bad one. Like, they didn't fall for the bait. And it was just the not waiting for the divide to be fully up and not realizing how many players were here. And then also Sugetsu just unable to find the trade. It gave him nowhere to go. Like, he had to just stay and fight. And when it came to the important kills of the round, FUT found them.
9-3.
This is enough to, well, just look at the
genuine
economy.
prediction
Look at the money
genuine.
that's on the board for KC in this round. There's going to be pieces missing.
मेरे हिसाब से 8-4.
Likely going to be fighting for the next one, but well, we've already seen a fair amount of individual brilliance. I wouldn't say this is a guaranteed round for FUT.
Oh, anything but. When it comes down to numbers,
door से open नहीं
over the side of the map.
देखो ये प्रॉब्लम है तुम लोग का और मेरा गेम अंडरस्टैंडिंग में ना यही प्रॉब्लम है. डोर से ओपन होना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि वो डोर अगर तुम लोग देखोगे ना वो ओपन वाला है उसको बंद नहीं कर सकते. समझ रहे हो?
Oh yeah. No, I definitely wouldn't go circle.
No, need a bigger circle, man.
बात को समझो.
I should have done the click to drag to stretch.
भाई अकेला कैसे खेल सकता है साइड? हो गया टाइम. अकेला कैसे खेल सकता है बे कोने में?
Half a second. And that leaves the A site wide open for business. Singular rifle left. Pistol for Sugetsu. Gotta be a little bit careful facing off against this man with the sheriff in hand. And actually, okay. The Verge's path used. Clearly feeling there was a need to try and deny this retake, and denied it has been.
Yeah, it's not like they have a huge ultimate online.
But now,
the next round they nearly do. I mean, in terms of getting in, finding that space, Convergence path is obviously going to confirm this round, get rid of any possibility of individuals taking over, and then coming into the next, we potentially have the Armageddon ready to roll.
Well, I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess the importance as well of an in-zone flawless, making sure that you have everything for the next round and your opponents don't get to get
मैं तो तेरे लिए देख रहा हूँ.
And especially when you are, as said, like you were down quite a few rounds,
love you यार gamers भाई, love you यार.
It's not going to get any more dangerous.
ये top right वाले आपके sponsor थे VCT के लिए.
A 7-5 half, I think especially the position they were in, FUT can be very happy with that.
दिख रहा है क्या top right में
Pistol round may even bring them back level, but dimensional drift, operator in hand for Levin. There was no one even close there to shoot that one, so I think he was just hoping that someone would face him on the timing.
भाई वापस सेम है स्प्लिट, लेकिन इस बार एस्ट्रा ने बोला कि मेरे को अकेले नहीं रहना, चेंबर आ गया. सेम है स्प्लिट. और वो लोग रोक नहीं पा रहे.
Cosmic Divide's already gone through, and it's going to be an initial fight favoring FUT. Two big pickups. And Levin even wins the fight as decoy, serving as a little bit of cover there. And although the plant comes in, and Armageddon is online, Crystalli very low as a fallback to main, picks up an op, but now the time's on their side. And KC need to be quick to bait this ultimate out. They need to get on that spike.
Mr. Farland on a long flank. They do have the turret, but it really just depends in what direction he goes. If he cuts back a little shorter, that's exactly what he's done. He's going to be able to get past already. The utility denying him a little bit longer, and now he strikes from behind. This is where they throw in the ultimate just to make sure that anybody on it is in trouble. At least just Sugetsu remaining. Wonderful burst coming out from FUT. And from
तुम लोग देखोगे ना जिसका मारामारी हुआ है ना, 9-3 वाला वाइब नहीं दे रहा था, 7-5 वाला ही वाइब दे रहा था. सिक्कर काना गए लैंग्वेज. स्पेसिफिक वर्ड से होगा कि नहीं.
In this match, left in kickoff for one of these teams. We'll be kicking out a team after the break.
भाई ना प्लेयर्स को ब्रेक चाहिए ना हम लोग को चाहिए. गो करो ना. हेड फॉर बोला था, कौन बोला? हेड दो उसे.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Bye bye Sufi bye. क्या 3002 लेक रहे, 3000 लोग देख रहे. लाइक कर दो स्ट्रीम को. फुट का विन होएगा, मेरे हिसाब से फुट जीतेगा. फुट ने ना लिखा ना नहीं रे बाबा ये मी है रे एने का तो मैच ही नहीं आज तेरे को कन्नड़ा आती है क्या नहीं कन्नड़ा बरुदिला This is what I like, you trolling your chat and chat trolling you. And dono fun hai.
Well, it's almost the end of the road, but for who?
We are serious.
And we're here to answer that question as the timer ticks away, Tom. Casey leading by 2. Now mount the attack side. The last time we saw Pearl play last year, stage 1, and it was these two teams, but the stakes this time
3 years. Love you, Mirjan Gote. Love you.
Oh, it's going to be one of those pistols that really could just turn this game.
T-back करने पे penalty लगती है क्या? Pro play में मेरे को नहीं लगता. T-back से कुछ होता है.
Could begin to start things off. One of them is going to improve their percentage significantly as well as the other. Both on 40%, both.
Hello, brother. Hello.
Clearly a lot of parallels between these two teams, and I think that can be felt within the server as well.
B पे वो करेगा क्या? Star वापस लेने का.
Eliminated last, and the other going marching on in the lower bracket. It almost feels unfair with how close this has been.
Yeah, it very much does. But whoever wins this has
अच्छा trap तो
5
ला
series,
रहे
one of which
भाई.
is a 5 in a row needed.
Timing हो गया.
Making to Santiago. To start out, Zeus dropped here in the pistol. A sneaky play by Levin gets another kill in favor of Casey. But these pistols, they always seem to point in one direction.
Possible तो है क्योंकि crossfire है.
Play turns it the other way. A start for Yedige. It could be the same old story, but they'll stop him in his tracks. And Cristalli,
doable था.
last man standing.
उसको जिंदा भी रहता था,
the
तो भी आ
gun for the
सकता था.
job. Everyone relatively healthy and
वो उसको मारा भी फिर भी headshot.
Up and ready for that veritable firing squad awaiting him. Another round on the board for KC, leading 8-5. How far can they take it?
Yeah, that's exactly what
I think 9-5.
Extra little boost to
फिर 9-6, फिर 9-7, फिर 10-7, फिर 10-8, फिर 10-9, फिर 11-9, फिर 11-10.
Going in for the outlaw, going in for
फुट जीता.
मेरे Guardian. A lot of long-range weapons with pistols to back them up.
2026 में आपको ढेर सारा स्पोर्ट्स है और ढेर सारा पॉलिटिशियन को लव यू मेरे जान करते हैं.
Only a few bullets left. Only a few bullets he could afford.
I'd say it's shot.
It's going to be challenged early, and it's a dry peek out. Okay, Levin hands in the initial kill.
वो रिटर्न ही ले लेता बेस्ट स्टार.
Headhunter being offered another pickup as well. Doja playing
return
back off. The problem here, look at the decision for FUT. Did they leave completely? I mean, just now the drone's gone through. Aves spots one. Still a mass exodus from the A site. FUT, they're gambling it. Even after seeing that utility towards A, many teams would rotate back. But now, 4 players on this B side, they will match the numbers of KC. But can they match the firepower with classics and a single bullet left in the headhunter?
Crossfire देखो.
Don't worry, I was going to say, was that Teo utility?
चलेगा. अभी भी crossfire देखो. एकदम triangle बे. Bermuda triangle.
Multiple salvos.
30 seconds.
6
seems like they're second guessing themselves.
30 seconds left.
They had things bang on, but after not seeing anything, they're immediately going to start rotating back. One player left within the site. It's a good luck to Mr. Fallen. Very likely his call to move away. He's just going to try and hold in the back line, something they desperately need to clear, maybe expecting a swing, and Aves has made sure that any more worry should be gone. A singular bullet left in the headhunter. And
Mal mila. Thank you very much. Love you, मेरे जान करते.
And it's something that, of course, their opponents can't know is that everybody is currently holding a rifle. I think that's how it might stay.
Alpan देने क्यों जा रहे?
Maybe if he just waits, going down to the spike or making it costly on exits if they do come his way.
If anybody pushes that way, they've lost
Without a doubt. Yeah, long as the safe exit, and that is where KC are going. The right call made. Zeus will go down to the spike, and FUT will go down 9-5. A big resurgence needed, but that didn't stop them in the past. Thing is, we are now running out of time.
Banka!
So Shadows had a rifle.
He did,
Banka!
I was about to say the really good thing for KC is that they kept, well, it was the rifles and of course the outlaw in play, and so you didn't actually lose anything.
And they probably did, because I saw them all laughing and giggling on the stage. Seemed like good vibes, so...
Oh, instead of 0.5, you have 0.7. Good job, bro.
7.
Well, the stat padding on the other side, has been called out. 9-5. Double digits is what KC is looking for. If they find it here, it is pretty much the beginning of the end. FUT need to stop them here and now, and it has to be more than a speed bump. We need a full-on barricade, a blockade, as they keep pushing further and further into the lead. KC now set their sights on being nobody anywhere else on the map. Full dedication to it. And Yedajay's op's already been pushed back. The next wave of utility might take him out of this hold altogether.
He
didn't even start this round with shields, but he survived longer than expected. Utility leaving him with nothing. I feel like this is round over. There's no way the fight to break back in on 3v5. This is going to be an opportunity for Dosia to go from just having a ghost at the beginning of this round to potentially having an operator.
Look at the utility here. Look at that. They used everything. There's nothing left. Of course, you don't know that, and you see a very direct play as well. You assume there's some little bits left in the back pocket, but that was a full dump coming out of KC. Second bit gets us in the site, and there's nothing they can do but give it up and play retake. Well, FUT didn't do that. They stuck around. A perplexing choice, and I think usually Yedajay would already look to recall back. Snap his fingers and get out of there and reverse Dorothy, but the reality is he couldn't, because he already did. And the position he held was just, it was greedy, but it was kind of necessary. Get a pick, get out. But once that utility comes, that's get out time, and he missed his time. He missed his window.
Yeah, like that. Well, that was the thing.
क्या force करेंगे क्या वो लोग?
It was revealed.
जो 2 गन सेव किया उसमें try करेंगे.
And then just hit by everything. Like there was no escape at that point. It was almost too easy. It looked like Cristalli was almost trying to give him a helping hand. But there was no survival. A lovely execution from KC. That's what we talked about. Like this team in terms of their initial plans and hits. It's the late round, but they didn't need a late round. They'd already won the round.
If you lose the late round calls versus a save, then we have a major problem. Luckily, that's not the case here. If KC double digits on the board, weakness is there for FUT, but they do save over those 3 weapons. They do put themselves in a position to buy back up and to fight for it here. But this is, again, that line in the sand. In this round might as well be a loss in the series. You might as well pack your bags for a big old break before stage 1. Baha, he's got the angle. He spotted 11, but he wasn't ready to shoot. I like it, though. Playing passive, popping the smoke, and calling for backup. Look how spread out KC are, though. They've got a net spread.
ये लोग A split में कर रहे हैं, normal A exec कर रहे हैं.
Right behind them.
It does leave a bit of a gap.
Dugout दोनों नेट या फिर एक dugout नेट पीछे.
Yedajay in a pretty awkward position, but there hasn't been any pressure on that side.
Reveal,
already, that's a huge pick. What? Gustafalik just taken out. This 11 operator that they definitely knew was there has managed to find an opening.
Shit, भाई क्या मारा लेकिन वो भी लो है.
Post-plan available and a late lurk coming in from Dosia, but an even later lurk coming in on the other side, and they don't even get the plant down. Zeus has done well.
Yeah, it was a nice hinder.
Flank
thrown in alongside the salvo, pushes a player into the open or forces their hand for an early death. That spike, 14 seconds, needs to be planted. Yedajay's got the round in his hands. Nicely done by the chamber. As you said, the only real danger in this round
is enough, guys. Goodbye from my side. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the live. Thank you, everyone. Okay, first, right?
Yeah, I genuinely, I didn't understand
how he got it
from his perspective.
Language.
I still don't. That's unlucky. Shoulders a bit too wide.
Oh, they're back on the board. Love that for him. And he's got his operator back. Or the one he bought in the first round has a second one in his back pocket as well. But yeah, Yedajay having a good half is going to be integral. Just look at the setup they're currently going for. 3 A main early, 1 player mid, Yedajay. If they can kill this guy off as they did in that initial bonus round,
And this hold is going to become impossible. An immediate rotation. Crystalia is going to spot out Dosia, but that tells a different story than they're pushing this way. It tells them that they're likely not.
Yeah, but look at the play towards A main. Zeus about to round that corner. There's two players there as the smoke fades. Levin's good for one, but has no notion that there could be a player creeping around behind him, but he's gotten out. Zeus waited too long to strike, and now the play is coming in towards
चलेगा क्योंकि एमएन पुश पे फेड जा रहा है बी पे लेकिन अगर मार देता है यार मारने के बाद भी उसको सही में इन्फो मिलता है.
Good position. No escape from this spot though. Dimensional drift becomes so important. This is only a classic, but playing aggressively with an operator. I don't know how. Again, he just seems to be surviving, hiding within, used as a distraction. And while the trades back and forth are enough for a second in a row. Some unorthodox gameplay from Yadajay, but
उसने क्या टाइमिंग निकाला बे लेकिन.
Yeah. I think
like streamer, like mod, same humor, language.
And then jump into a smoke.
Thoughts on Arbor, very nice, very nice.
With utility out,
भाई
I
उसको
wasn't
मारना था,
sure
उसको
what I
मारना
was
था.
witnessing quite in that moment, but
वो लोग के लग गए थे. अगर मारते ना वो लोग को मालूम रहता था तभी पे शायद नहीं करता.
Second round in a row. Nice! That we're going to see that late fight be resolved. It seems like a lot of space being given to FUT when those executes are coming through. FUT reading those timings and getting the flanks just when they need to. Time to plug those holes. They've got 2 timeouts. This is their first to be used at 10-7. And Zeiss knows how close they are to starting that run. Again, after this, you need 4 BO3s and a BO5 without faltering against teams that are trickling down from that middle bracket.
मतलब NHK. Caster बोल रहा है NHK.
If I'm not mistaken, it's Heretics who you play after this, which, sure, looking at current form, you could go close in this matchup and still be able to take down, but if they reach that same kind of form that they've been missing last year's form, then yeah, your run might be cut a bit short after this game.
Realistically, the teams that can drop down, you've got Mates and BBL very, very tip-top still. One of them's immediately going to be making it through. Then you've got Na'Vi, Fnatic, Vitality, GX, and then waiting in lower round 2, you got Heretics and Liquid.
एक बार 8 split करने का मेरे को देखने का.
Get easier from here, I'll be honest. Like, this is
4-1 करते हैं, 3-2 करते हैं और एक को छोड़ देते पीछे.
Yeah, after Heretics, it will be either Vitality or GX you face. Yeah, that's either one of those. Seems like a pretty tough matchup. And then there's a few more.
Vitality बोलते हैं.
Yeah, then maybe a Na'Vi, maybe a Fnatic. Then maybe a Mates or a BB. Yeah, it's a long way back, all right? But that's what happens when you immediately lose 2 games.
Yeah, well, normally you go out of the tournament.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, second least alive.
To be here, but we'll see.
Very much so. Yeah, both
one of them's luck is
about
to run out. And
Amen.
KC are in the lead.
अब ये लोग ही split मार रहे बे.
Wow, they're looking for their 3rd life. To maybe last just that little bit longer. For now, though, again, it's a similar trait as the opposing side. I want to see a bit of pressure put into that link, like put into that runway down to B, break the trap, make it more awkward, because that trap sits there pretty much the whole round, and it means they could just do this, leave one player on the other side of the map to hold half the map.
Reveal, gone through, hasn't landed just yet, or rather has landed, but it's going through. KC delay a moment, and that avoids the initial burst of the utility now. They look to take that site with a clean plant out of shade. Also,
spam bhi nahi mara.
Coming the other way, all of the spams as well. And now Nightfall goes through, but Mr. Fall runs in on the back of it, completely catching them off guard. FUT now with a man advantage. They set their eyes on that spike. Shots landing from Main. And the late play from Doja with a star that's, well, not in the normal position, but it has still delayed. It's bought time. Doja can strike from the side, but he is being watched. He was being watched as the stun goes through. More time eating away from that clock.
Oh my God.
From Doja. They're set up for success. It should be the end of the round, the end of the play.
Oh my God, half bhi nahi hua. Oh my God!
And KC
क्या खेल रहा है
just a few steps away from this lower bracket run commencing.
Again, a superb initial
भाई
execute.
post plant कुछ
Made things
util
so
नहीं.
awkward for the players, forced all the way to the back of side. Mr. Varlin definitely
ऐसे
threw a
मारा
spanner in
इन
the
पे.
works by just running at them while hit by the Nightfall. Maybe he doesn't know that they
बस
can still
मारा
hit you,
बेटा.
but it seemed like he didn't give a damn. But then Dosia, just the final piece of the puzzle, the
वो
late
पुल
play,
करने से पहले भी देखा
the
क्या?
final free throw.
एमिन वाले ने जंप पिक किया. पुल
That's
कितना
gonna
लेट
put
किया
them 2
उसने.
rounds away from sending FUT packing.
एमिन था बंदा करके
It's
और
definitely
टाइम
not
बैक
been an
करने का
easy
करके
road,
भाई
but
सेक्सी बे.
if they complete this match, they can at least
Very deserving
start
task.
getting ready for the next one.
A monumental task ahead of the victor.
सीधा execute.
The disappointment that comes with defeat, with the end of kickoff. And FUT, they're not far away from that reality coming true in front of their eyes.
मारना तो
Zeus
पड़ेगा ना भैया.
emerges from the smoke as Doja waits,
क्या बैकअप
beckons him
दिया?
in.
क्या बैकअप दिया?
And soon to show FUT the door.
वाह,
As KC,
दोस्त तो खेल रहे हैं बे
12 locked
crazy.
in now for FUT, 2v5 that they stand practically
मोर जरा
no
उमर भाई को
chance
चुम्मा
of
दो.
even coming close
इधर है.
to winning.
Teleport's ready.
They've made that realization. Tour de force, it's been wasted here.
नहीं देखा.
Yeah, that's the thing. He might as well go for some damage. I guess it's just what are you gaining?
Yeah.
Like your opponents have enough credits
भाई
to buy
दोस्त ने
anyway, and
मस्त एक्चुअल में अच्छा खेला. Stars
maybe
भी
he doesn't
मस्त
want to give
है.
over an orb. Maybe give
बैकअप भी
it
मस्त
to get to a
है.
lockdown or a dimensional drift. I guess that's the argument, but
Dimensional
अब तो
drift on
जीजिए
entry
no
as
comeback,
well.
no comeback.
well, I think that's been
मतलब वो
the
लोग शायद
scariest
अल्ट
thing.
रोटेशन के साथ है ना शायद
Okay, that was a choice.
2 या 3 राउंड निकाले लेकिन
Yeah, that was a choice.
I am
highly
now
doubt.
immensely perplexed by what I watched, but okay.
That was basically the worst of all.
Yes.
Well,
Troy has been sent to get the pizza. I mean, that I could stand there another
बहुत
5
अच्छा था
minutes. I
ना?
don't think I'd be able to put the pieces together of what
क्या मारा
neurons
बे
were
घुस के?
firing at that moment. But
लियोन ने
unlucky, you won the round, I guess, for the person that died.
Yeah,
but
unlucky for them.
not that
12 and
unlucky.
7.
अल्ट है
And,
एक्स्ट्रा का.
I'm not sure what went on there.
एक्स्ट्रा का अल्ट है लेकिन ये लोग को
That
पीछे
over
से
in
खेलना
the end.
पड़ेगा या फिर बैक कॉल वो
And
अल्ट
we've already
मारेगा
seen
फिर.
that when KC have an ult with their executions, they have been so hard to play against. Like they have just had an extra little piece, like in that round. You see it. The Armageddon thrown to the back side, a stun put in the one place that would have been safe, and an easy opener, in fact an easy double opener for Levin. Now he has his ultimate in play to just make this as awkward as possible for Yedeje. They already know exactly where he is. Counter Nightfall thrown out by FUT to try and slow this push as much as possible, but there is Levin with the backstab. Yedeje dead, punished for his own mistakes in the previous round.
ड्रोन वन कर रहा है लेकिन
And now 3 stab
टीम
to
तो
try
फाइट
and
ही नहीं
keep
कर
FUT
पाया.
alive.
डिफॉल्ट नेल डालता तो शायद होता.
These retakes haven't looked good, but when it comes to a spam like that from Aves,
क्योंकि दो जन को क्रॉस फायर करना. अगर वो किधर नेट डालता तो शायद हेल्प होता ना रे.
a dive in from the top rope.
Nice shot,
Baz
man.
bringing the pain, but the hinder doesn't land in time. Aves 3 kills seems to lock this one in. KC's
यार दो जन लड़ रहे हो ड्रोन
run
कर दिया
starts
है यार.
here as we wave goodbye to FUT. Kickoff ends for them today.
Congratulations KC. Next आप ही आने वाले हो.
Things to be a little bit cleaner, but that sometimes you have to work through these sort of.
भाई ये लोग इतना खुश हो रहे हैं. इसके बाद वाइटलिटी है या फिर GX. दोनों अच्छे लग रहे हैं. दोनों अच्छे लग रहे हैं.
But also
Nah?
showing that extra resilience, losing that second map, for having that spring back. And
Dostan
again, like,
sexy
you
खेला
look
लेकिन.
back to their previous match versus Fnatic, a close game out. It wasn't like they've been boomed all the way through the tournament. But it's one where you look at it and go, okay, there's definitely things that need to change going towards stage 1.
For KC, a lot of promise here. We can see that the
अच्छा
prepared
भाई
rounds,
जिंक्स
the
मत कर.
structure is
तू
there.
लैंग्वेज.
And Shados growing into that IGL role, we can only imagine.
बेफाई कब से 14th या 15th को है.
Buying themselves another chance.
लेकिन सिर्फ आज ही ऐसा है. बाद में कल से अच्छे मैचेस है.
Making it 6 with this one.
तुम लोगों को
For
ब्रैकेट्स
KC
दिखा देता हूँ. तुम लोगों को ब्रैकेट्स दिखा देता हूँ. तो बेसिकली अगर आप इन डेप्थ ऑफ द डिटेल्स ऑफ द ये में है में जाओ अगर समझ रहे हो तो देखो सिंपल बात है. जेंटलमैन्स वर्सेस बिबोल में अपन किसको सपोर्ट करेंगे. यप BBL हो गई यहाँ पे क्वालिफाई, बराबर। जेंटल मिट्स आ गई नीचे, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे ये लोग लड़ रहे। यहाँ से आएगी फेनेटिक, जेंटल मिट्स आ गया वापस नीचे। यहाँ पे लोग लड़ ले। फिर बाद में दौड़ते जब ये लोग यहाँ से यहाँ तक आएंगे, तब नावी, यप। आई लव यू जेंटलमेट्स। बेचारे एक्चुअल में अच्छा खेले भी वो लोग, एक्चुअल में अच्छा तो खेल रहे वो लोग बे। पूरा ब्रैकेट का अम्मा बहन कर दिया सबने। पोकेमोन का हंसने का आवाज है। वेल वाइटलिटी, वो वाइटलिटी नहीं है जो तुम लोग सोच रहे हो। Okay, that is it for today. कल सेम शेड्यूल रहेगा, लेकिन कल दोनों मैचेस होने वाला है वॉच पार्टी, क्योंकि दोनों मैचेस आर सम लाइक डैडी काइंड ऑफ मैचेस। तो कल दोनों मैचेस करेंगे। आफ्टरनून को अगर जल्दी उठा तो मेंबर्स ओनली वैलो कर लेंगे, और फिर ये शेड्यूल रहेगा, ठीक है यार। मेरे को दाढ़ी और हेयर कट भी करना है यार, हेयर कट मेन है। हाँ, पैसिफिक नहीं करेगा कल? कौन सा पैसिफिक है? कल नहीं है रे पैसिफिक, कल EMEA है। नावी फेनेटिक और वाइटलिटी जायंटिक्स, कल दोनों मैचेस अच्छा है। पैसिफिक अभी 5th को है। ओ फक, वो कल है। आज मैं बोल रहा हूँ, आज रात को EMEA अच्छा है और पैसिफिक है। पैसिफिक अपन दोनों करेंगे, वायरल जेंजी भी करेंगे और सीक्रेट जेटा स्किप कर सकते हैं अपन शायद। सीक्रेट जेटा स्किप कर सकते हैं क्या? थोड़ा सा नहीं, नया है ये, नया है। नया टीम है, मारने वाले प्लेयर्स है, नहीं, नो स्किप, मारने वाले प्लेयर्स है। अभी यार पहले मैं कुछ खा लेता हूँ यार, मेरे को बहुत भूख लगा है, सिर्फ चक्कर आना बचा है। पहले मैं थोड़ा खा लेता हूँ और उसके बाद आता हूँ मेंबर्स ओनली, ठीक है यार। श्रिक्स या फिर सनक के साथ। बहुत भूख लगा है अभी। लेट मी ईट। डोला चमक रहा है आपका सच्ची भाई? आज मेरा वो था बे, लेग्स डे, वरना भाई से बनता था। चलो बाय, आदियोस, शेड में आदियोस, टेक केयर, सी या, लव यू, बाय।
I find you a star, and we could be in love, lighting up the dark, but there's nothing I can do, I can never get to you, so I'm looking for a miracle, like if somebody be so beautiful.